he always do it big. You know who it is. B-Eazy, B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. He on his way to the top and he ain't about to stop. You thought he would flop and didn't wanna give him props. The things you dreaming about he already did do. Now it's time to soak a game he about to give you. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to tune in when he goes live. Make a contribution if you feeling the content. Tap into the realness if you tired of the nonsense. I mean, no disrespect, ain't trying to sound rude, but the world already knows that B-Eazy's that dude. Ooh.
We all here to see B-Eazy. We wanna listen to B-Eazy. Ayy, we all like B-Eazy. Nah, matter of fact, we love B-Eazy. Believe me, he really that dude. Subscribe to the channel, it's easy to do. If you care, then go ahead and share. This fire content, extraordinarily rare. That's why I put that on my mama, he is that dude. And I put that on my daddy, he is that dude. So.
Yeah. B-Eazy Dat Dude. My trap booming like Metro. My hustle game immaculate. Twist the ism like a Dutch when I mac this bitch. Blue strips by the band, I be stacking it. 4-5 with a 30, I'm packing it. Some shooters rolling with me, they some young riders. Just like a drunk driver, they'll start smacking shit. We in the hood every day, it's like we trapping shit. Niggas tired of the struggle, trying to bubble, flipping packs and shit. Respect the man that I ain't axing it. I talk shit, but I be back in it. Yeah, I'm like 5'8", but I ain't lacking shit. Cause this Draco probably turn me into Shaq and shit. I just rap for the mob, bro, that's what I will do. If you ain't with that shit, then I can't feel you. Yo, I told her run it and you know the drill, bull. I only want the green like mildew. Sick of these fake niggas frontin'. Y'all not stunners, I'm a top gunner. Got bread so I keep toes. Red peacoat with a chop under. I'm from the Bay, but I play for the Bucks. No, I really don't give a fuck if you ain't feeling the shit. Got still in the clip for niggas squilling they lips. This why I don't trip, cause I won't slip. I keep this thing on hip. On the block at the crib, but when I be riding in my whip, bitch, you know it's stay cocked to spray shots. Leave your frame open like the fridge. Probably be smoking like a Sid, man, this is how it is. We trill for real, live and direct. My niggas be selling pots in the jacks. We all strive for successful, so stay funky, fresh, dressed to impress. Yes, I'm the best in the West. If you ask me, my voice real raspy. I went from ashy to classy. Now niggas cut they bitch when they pass me. That's right, you better cuff if you love her. Cause if I fuck her and duck her, she stuck with a sucker. I had her under the covers with like hundreds of rubber. She was a fool to trust, a nigga used to bust. I'm from that home of hustlers, when niggas stay moving cluckers. Flipping white, get it right, motherfucker. I be on the block all night, motherfucker. With your bitch, only thing she get is pipe, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. Listen up. It's B-Eazy Dat Dude, the great. He ain't fake, he one of the real guys. Spitting fire every stream. You been late to the party, now it's time to realize. From Pittsburgh to around the world, yeah, the flow is elite. Every beat that he slide on turns into straight heat. Came up from the grind, selling box on a laptop, running up a bag, feel like he hit the jackpot. Got the luxury visions, ambition vivid, never bluff. Person's progress, persevere when the going gets tough. B-Eazy Dat Dude, got stripes in the game. Every rhyme, every line, they gon' remember the name. From the streets to the stage, the energy don't fade. Legend in the making, yeah, history's what he's laid. Mic in his hand, heart in the flow and soul on every beat. Dropping knowledge, power, bravado, his legacy complete. Hustle amplified, lyrics electrified, that's the truth. Be-Eazy Dat Dude, established with certified proof. Feel the bass, feel the vibe, let it ride through the crowd. All the words, every hook, man, he keeps making us proud. King of his lane, rising above every feud. All hail the one and only, one and only, one and only. Be-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Ayo, who is that dude? Oh girl, that's just B-Eazy. Oh boy, that's just B-Eazy. Well, who is B-Eazy? Oh, you ain't know, he been a pro, for sure, all about the dough. He been running up them racks and still trying to get some more. Don't care about the fame, just trying to gain and grow. He really one of them ones, his presence so pivotal. So hell yeah, he that dude, this is unequivocal.
Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude, an impromptu stream, back with another one. This one is gonna be a banger. Controversial topics, so it will be a doozy. I don't like to keep y'all waiting. Before we get this thing started, you know, I gotta hit ya.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民。と言っても自分の世代です。もう友達できたの？うん。グッドファンのこっちに。
Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting modo. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude. In the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji, eating tandoori and chicken curry. That ism is really in me. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad. And we are activated. And let me just go ahead and pull this banner down. I'm going to get right into it. Hopefully the people come in. I may not be here for a long time, but it will be a strong time. And salute to all the people that will be watching this live concurrently and the people that will be viewing this on the replay game. So if you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, bada boom, bada bam. The video we're going to be reacting to is from the Saint in the Center, Marquett Davon Burton. So he's going to debate Israeli J person. This is titled Marquett Ask J Man where his native land is, and this happens. So we're going to get right into this thing. And let me know if you guys have any issues hearing me or the video.
A part of a reasonably unique subsection of Israel where all you know is Israel. And if you were told to go back to fill in the blank, like it would be, theoretically, it would be Israel as far as your lifetime is concerned.
When you're saying go back, you need to know, like, people need to understand, like, hey, you have read the Bible. I came from here, from Judea and Samaria. That's the name of my origin, Jews. Like, this is where I came from. Like, if you go like 15, 10 kilometers away from my house, there's open spaces. How can I say it? When you dig for roads, right, to build a new road, yes, sometimes you find new, like, ruins or stuff from from an old age, like 300, 400 feet, like even 1,000 years ago. And every time you found it, like 99% of the time, it is related. Like the 1% is the Greeks and the Romans that actually came here to try to, control the region in the old days. But rest of them is just like, old synagogues and Jewish old letters and all the antiques, whatever. But everything point out to be Jews. So we are indigenous to this region, like, grew up.
But let's dig in real quick. So firstly, you had mentioned that you are kind of native to that land or indigenous to that land. Whereas I know many Jews in America mostly, and I know some Israelis as well. Most of them beautiful women, some of them thick, but they all route their most immediate history that they're familiar with to Europe. So, their parents are from Estonia, parents are from Ukraine, parents or grandparents are from Russia. Every single Jewish person I know, where's your grandmother from? Where's your great grandmother from? It's Europe. Where are your grandparents from?
I can tell you, my grandparents, both of them were descendants, right? From one from Bulgaria and one from Spain. Actually, Spain, there been a deportation because in 1700s, the thing is, the cycle always keep repeating. Like, you can't tell the Jew, go to this country, you'll be safe there, because they have been prosecuted in Spain. So they actually ran to Israel before even the First World Wars.
Sure.
There was nothing here, like nothing. But
have you been to Bulgaria, by the way?
I need to. I haven't.
Yeah, I hear good things about Sofia. I want to check it out myself. Mind you, I will cut you off from time to time, so you'll have to forgive me for that. So with regards to, and there's just so much to discuss, so we'll try to dig in. And are you in Tel Aviv as we speak?
Actually, no. I'm living Rosh Ain. It's like, you need to understand, since this state is 700 kilometers, everything is close. Like, I'm 15 minutes from Tel Aviv, 15 minutes from every central city in every direction, kind of.
Understood. Okay. So you're in a proper city outside of Tel Aviv that's still proximate to Tel Aviv.
It is, yeah.
Okay. And you're not in a bunker. You're in your own personal flat as of now until a siren might go off, at which point you would have to then go to a bunker.
Yep, correct.
Okay. Oh, yeah, let me ask you this before we get going too deep. I'm going to address some of the things you mentioned. This is a kind of conversation that is really important to hear because it's a sincere conversation. There's no hatred on my part. There's no hatred on his part. We respect one another as men. And we want to have a conversation wherein we can have some mutual learning about Israel culturally, politically, perhaps militarily, because all of the Israelis do partake in the army, and also to understand how they come to the ideas that they come to. So he initially said, hey, all of us Jews, we really come from this land. And then I said, okay, well, all of the Jews I know come from Europe. Do you have any near, recent ancestors that come from Europe? And he says, yeah, Bulgaria and Spain, which are both European nations. And it only verifies what I've said many times. The people who are calling themselves Jews who control Israel are Europeans, and they are white, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's more so a colonial settler state, and their story with the Bible, the Torah, their story of origin, and the reason that they believe they're entitled to that land is a necessary fiction so that they're not viewed poorly. Like, even when I'm traveling throughout the world, whether it's the Middle East or Europe or even Africa, if I encounter someone who's a racist, which every now and then, the racism will jump up out of someone, their first insult, because they can't insult me directly, right? Like, what is there to say directly? They're not going to insult my height because I'm tall. They're not going to insult my looks because my face is symmetrical. They're not going to insult my teeth because they grew in straight. I didn't even need braces. They're not going to insult my clothing because it's all custom. They're not going to insult my accommodations because it's 5-star. So what do they go to? Circumstance. So they'll say, "Oh, you're a slave." It dictates the way that you are viewed, your story of origin. And whereas the blacks in America did not create their story of origin, nor did they modify their story of origin, they're viewed relatively poorly. And this is a reference point that hateful persons always reach back to. Oppositely, the Jews, those who call themselves Jews today and live in Israel, they have created their narrative. They've associated it with something quite powerful, and they try their best to control that narrative, even if it would cause you to not believe your eyes. Yes, even if they would, you look at them and you're like, this is a white European, and they tell you, no, 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 I'm from the Middle East. You're like, but you have red hair, or you have blue eyes, or you're clearly not from the Middle East. But they'll tell you to believe the story as opposed to the science or the clear evidence. And that is actually very clever on their part. And I can't hate them for being wise and exercising the best in strategy to get what they want.
So if the whole Iraq thing didn't happen, 9/11 and so on and so forth, things would be a lot different.
No, I said if Israel was never forcibly created, if the Western powers, the United States, Britain, namely, if they did not force a group of Europeans into the Middle East and murder to establish the state of Israel, and then engage in continuous murder to sustain and grow the state of Israel, that the peoples in Palestine and the Muslims surrounding would not have taken offense, and we would not be in protracted war, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but you do know, like, the Jews lived here also before.
That's a fairy tale.
What? Sorry?
Name 2 books that were written at the time that the Jews were there that
Okay, so I let a lot of that go on. This video is only about 4 more minutes left. I believe they were debating and something happened with the connection, so the guy had to drop down. So that's why Marquett went on his monologue. But right now he's debating a Israeli person who's claiming that they're indigenous to the land, right? And he's saying, no, actually, you're not. There was no place called Israel until it was forcibly created with the backing of the Western powers. And he's trying to say, no, we're indigenous. And then he asked them, hey, where's your family from? And this is what has a lot of people in a tizzy, especially when you're dealing with tethers or people from a non-FBA background, or that doesn't come rooted from what some would call a heritage American lineage. Now, I don't think that just because you have American lineage that you're just inherently exceptional. I know people push American exceptionalism, but I don't agree that that's inherent, right? But I do think people should be leaning into their lineage and be proud of where they come from. Once you're trying to cosplay, leech, and tether onto a different culture, continent, and landmass that is not where you originate from, that's extremely dangerous and problematic. So this is what this whole discussion and ordeal is about. Many of the J people in Israel say, hey, we're indigenous, but it's like, bro, you're indigenous to Europe. That's where your ancestors come from. But because they violently did some colonial settler projects, they're purporting to be the true natives of Palestine. But let's get back into the video.
Explain that the Jews, white Jews, were there, and then white Jews went back to the factory of white people, which is Europe. Are there any historical texts that were written during that time that validate that, aside from the texts that, okay, what are they?
Do you know Tom Sawyer author?
And salute to Last Call, slid through. I won't be here for a long time, but it will be a strong time. So if y'all don't watch this live or y'all don't stick around for the full stream, definitely it won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. Hit your boy with a share so someone else could soak up this free game.
Sir? Sorry, what do you call it?
I'll pull up the book right now. What's it called?
What's the author of Huckleberry Finn? I forgot his name.
Yes, I'm familiar with the author of Huckleberry Finn, but I stated specifically books that were written during that time, meaning a historian observing.
No, but I'm trying No, listen. I'm trying to say something very specific. Why I bring it up? Because he was actually here. He was here before the establishment of the state, and he described what he saw. He saw Jews. He saw Arabs. They was not called Palestinians by then. He called this land barren and empty. He, I quote, didn't think anybody would live here. Who would live here? What is this country? Nothing is here except
But if
Jerusalem.
that was true, the Palestinians wouldn't say that you're stealing their land. If that was true, there wouldn't have been a two-state solution. If that were true, what Christopher Columbus said when he came to the Americas would also be fictional, which is to say he said he discovered the Americas. He didn't discover it. The people living there had discovered it. And so what you're basically referencing is the perspective of a person who is ill-informed or dishonest. And that happens. Sometimes an individual man may be ill-informed or dishonest. In the case of Christopher Columbus, he was surely both. He was ill-informed and dishonest. And so you're suggesting that the land that you guys have occupied forcibly was empty. And that's just not true. The sloganization about...
I didn't say it, though.
That's what you're leading to right now.
Actually, no. People lived here, Jews and Israelis.
Yes, and if that's the
Jews
case,
and,
why did
Arab,
the people who were in Europe need to flee out of Europe and force their way into a land where they were not wanted? They should have stayed where they were. And just like you said, you have ancestors who were most recently living in Bulgaria and Spain. And all the Jews that I know, they're from Ukraine, they're from Poland, they're from Estonia, they're from Romania, they're from Europe. That's where you guys are from. And so the question is, why didn't you stay where you are, where you were?
I'll answer it. Do you know what pogrom is?
I know exactly what that is. And so now, so that was a setup. You just fell into the trap. So here's a step 2 on that. So a pogrom, or an expulsion, or a persecution occurring toward the Jews. Now, the question then is, well, why are people treating you like this? It's not like you're black, right? It's not like they look around and they're like, hey, we're white, you're black, we're going to treat you badly because you're so different than us. You see, black and white, we're nearly opposites in some ways, but you're white and they're white. And so really what happened is that you were practicing a different culture that was problematic within that nation, and they took offense to it, and they did what societies do. They punish behavior that they deem to be bad. Now, the real question is not...
rewind it and let the bro cook, because this video is almost over. But of course, I had to interject. I let most of it play, but I have to interject to, of course, make the video transformative. But if you want to go watch it uninterrupted, make sure you subscribe to Saint in the Center, also known as Marquett Davon Burton.
What's a pogrom? The real question is, what were you doing that caused you to be expelled from?
And that's what I wanted to get into. What were you doing, right? Because a lot of them will say, hey, we were expelled and we were persecuted. And I don't believe in subjugating, oppressing anyone, especially for their ethnic, cultural, religious background. But when we're trying to hold Black people accountable for their misgivings and misdeeds, let's just call them that, we always say, hey, well, what did you do? Or let me guess, didn't do nothing, right? Or, man, yeah, these people may have did something heinous, unjust, and unfairly to you, but what did you do, right? And then we have to psychoanalyze, like, hey, Black people were victimized, but what did they do to aid in their victimization or be complicit with it, right? So if this chosen group of people are consistently persecuted everywhere they go, is it because people really just hate them, or are they doing something? And this is just a fair question. And I'm not saying whatever they did warrants them being persecuted, but maybe they did do something that was in violation of code, ethics, what they would call the social contract. So maybe the persecution and the exile was warranted based on the situation, circumstance, scenario, or dilemma. But we need to know what that dilemma was. We need to know what that circumstance was so we can judge it, analyzed and assessed it based on that individual instance. But no, just me saying that is considered anti-Semitic. So no, I don't agree with Jews, Christians, Muslims, or anyone being mistreated. But if every place you go, you're being persecuted, were you a sweet, innocent angel and people just hate you? Or were you doing something that was detestable? Let me rewind it back a little bit and play the rest of it out.
Is that you were practicing a different culture that was problematic with setup, and you just fell into the trap. So here's a step 2 on that. So a pogrom or an expulsion or a persecution occurring toward the Jews. Now the question then is, well, why are people treating you like this? It's not like you're black, right? It's not like they look around and they're like, hey, we're white, you're black, we're going to treat you badly because you're so different than us. You see, black and white, we're nearly opposites in some ways, but you're white and they're white. And so really what happened is that you were practicing a different culture that was problematic within that nation, and they took offense to it, and they did what societies do. They punish behavior that they deem to be bad. Now the real question is not what's a pogrom. The real question is, what were you doing that caused you to be expelled from places where you're from?
The answer is very simple. What do you call it? There's like, I heard stories of my grandfather. They thought he's
in like, Bulgaria or in Spain?
In Spain.
In Spain, okay.
There's been a true like witch hunts and something crazy. They think we drink blood, like some crazy stuff.
Some of
like,
you guys do drink blood.
What?
Yes. I think it's called mitzvah bapeh. When
Okay, so we're going to stop it there because the person was saying, hey, there's a lot of slander against the J people. They say that some of us drink blood, and that's a blood libel, right? And Marquett retorted and said, hey, well, some of you guys actually do. And then he brought up with something that some of you guys may have never heard. So we're going to discuss it a little bit. And then I'm going to break down his debate with an IDF soldier. And then I have one more story, and then I'll shut it down. But depending on how people react to this, I may come back and hit y'all with a double header. But let me just pull this up right here. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me stop that. Let me pull up this one first. Just give me one moment. Hold on. Bada boom. So don't take my word for it. You guys can type this on any search engine that you prefer, whether it be Yahoo, Google, Microsoft Copilot, mitzvah bapeh, right? So just to give context, Marquett Davon Burton was debating an Israeli, and he said there's slander and blood libel against us that says some of us drink blood. He retorted with some of you do. It's called mitzvah bapeh, right? So what is mitzvah bapeh? Or I think he said mitzvah bapeh. That's what I typed in. But what it's actually called is Metzah Bapeh. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. If someone knows how to pronounce it right, then you could. It's a traditional part of the J circumcision ritual where the mohel uses oral suction to draw blood. Y'all know what oral is, and y'all know what suction is. To draw blood from the circumcision wound. Where would a circumcision wound be at? On the genitalia, on the penis. It's historically intended to protect the infant's health. Religious and halakhic background. Metzitza Bapeh is mentioned in the Talmud, Shabbat 133a, as one of the 3 stages of Brit Milah: cutting the foreskin, peria, uncovering the inner membrane, and metzitza, suctioning the wound. The Talmud and later authorities such as the Rambam describe metzitza as a procedure to prevent danger for the infant, rather than an intrinsic part of mitzvah of circumcision itself. According to the halakha, if a mohel performs the circumcision and priya but omits metzitza, the mitzvah is still considered fulfilled. Historically, metzitza was sometimes performed using substances like cumin for antiseptic purposes. But modern medicine has introduced safer alternatives. So now let's dig into this a little bit more just because I'm interested. Have you guys ever heard of this? So let's go into it. Hold on. So what is mitzvah b'peh, right? I told you it's a traditional circumcision, brit milah, in which the mohel performs the metzitza, the drawing out of blood from the wound immediately after the cut, right? So the Talmud, Shabbat 133b, describes metzitza as a health measure to prevent danger to the infant. It does not prescribe a specific method. So how it has been done historically is, before modern medicine, oral suction was the only practical method available to perform metzitza. So yes, traditional metzitza b'peh involved direct oral suction. It was understood as a medical precaution, not a ritual of symbolic meaning. This was a standard practice for centuries because there were no sterile instruments, pumps, or other alternatives. Now, in the 19th century, with the rise of the germ theory, modern hygiene, more rabbinic authorities ruled that a sterile glass tube, sponge, or other instrument could be used instead of direct oral contact. So now, instead of sucking on the baby's genitalia, they're introducing more sterile modern tools to use. The halakhic requirement is fulfilled as long as blood is drawn away from the wound. The original method was considered a medical practice, not an inherently ritual one, so it could be adapted. So them sucking blood from some babies' genitalias was considered a medical practice and not very ritualistic, so it's fluid and it can change. However, some people think that the Talmud speaks directly to performing the procedure in this oral manner. Now, some groups still use direct oral suction. Certain Haredi and Hasidic communities maintain the older practice because they view the traditional method as the most authentic continuation of the ritual, the Talmudic instruction as ideally fulfilled through direct suction. But even with those communities, there is a debate, and some mohels use a sterile tube. Now, here is the simplest way to put it. Did mitzvah b'peh historically involve oral contact? Yes, because it was considered a medical necessity. Is oral contact required by Jewish law? No, the requirement is metzitza, not the specific method. Are alternative methods accepted? Yes, by most rabbinic authorities today. So have y'all heard about that? Mitzvah b'peh or metzitza b'peh, where they suck on the baby's wound from a circumcision to draw out the blood to protect the baby and help heal and vitalize or revitalize the baby. Have y'all heard about that? Whose culture is this? I think we know. So let me go ahead. I'm actually going to pull up another video. So while I'm doing that, Give me 30 seconds, please.
Be easy, he is that dude. It's plain and obvious. A certified professional, ain't never been a hobbyist. He is one of the nicest, realest, coldest, and dopest. So you should take notice. Woo! That dude, be easy, that dude, be easy, that dude. Show love and support to be easy, that dude.
Be easy, be easy. Ooh.
And we are back at it. So Marquett Davon Burton right here is debating a Israeli IDF soldier. This video is titled Israeli IDF Soldier Dominated by Marquett Davon Burton in a Debate. So this is one of his other channels because I know YouTube shadow banned him when he started talking about the chosen group that are not allowed to be spoke upon unless it's in favorable context. And because he was standing up for the G side that's going on in Gaza, how some satanic people like Bibi Netanyahu are presiding over a slaughter, disproportionately obliterating women and children. He spoke up about that, and he said that this particular community came after his finances and he lost 80% of his wealth, is what he said. So when you're speaking about a certain community, if you're on here talking about black on black crime and black degeneracy and fatherless homes and saying nigga all day, then yeah, you'll get boosted in the algorithm. I probably would have had 10,000 subs by now. But once you stand on business for the lineage, but also once you're America first, I'm a humanitarian, so I love everybody. I want to see the betterment for not only the country, but the entire globe. But once you stand up and uphold some level of moral standards and principles, then you get attacked. It's crazy, right? People will say they have an issue and they have black fatigue, but they always gravitate towards degeneracy. There's no gun to your head forcing you to watch disgusting, toxic, and debaucherous content. You're doing that on your own, which is okay, right? That's part of the life and liberty that you're entitled to. But then again, why are you complaining about it? It's like these moist incels complaining about all chicks is thoughts, but it's like every chick you follow is an OnlyFans hoe. So is it that all chicks are hoes, or it's just the chicks that you follow are hoes? Fair questions to ask. Let's get into the video.
The war is kill people. I know that you guys don't understand the war is kill people in hospitals. The war is in the hospital because the Palestinian terrorists are embedded themselves in those hospitals and schools.
What if you're the terrorist? What if you're the terrorist? You're the terrorist. You invaded their land. You are the terrorist.
Bro is coming in hot. He said, what if you're the terrorist? And it looks like we've been joined by some illustrious guests. The big block boat rider, Mr. 350 himself, Big Rig Slaps, and none other than Sincere Saida in the building. Appreciate y'all. Now, I ain't gonna be here for a long time, but it will be a strong time. And she said, isn't that dude that gave Umar a bunch of money? You know what? I think he might have. I'm not all into dude's business affairs like that. I don't agree with everything that he says, but then again, no one agrees with everything I said. So I do agree with him destroying them in this debate. But the dude is a prestigious businessman and a very sharp brother. He's definitely intellectually accomplished. However, there are some shenanigans and antics I disagree with. But for the most part, I agree with most of his sentiments. So I try to focus on what I agree with, how we could establish a rapport, solidify a connection based on our agreements. And then if there's disagreements, then let's hash them out respectfully. Because before you build a rapport and camaraderie, if you lead straight to the disagreements, usually it's going to be a clash of egos, more so a constructive build. You know what I mean? Yeah, he came in hot for show, but like, where's the lie though? This person is over here talking about Hamas and Palestinians and calling them terrorists, but it's like, dude, so they say that Hamas and the Palestinians are terrorists because they allegedly slaughtered 1,200 Jewish people, which, hey, I'm a humanitarian. I don't want to see those bodies being scattered across the land. But what is a bigger number, right? They say allegedly the IDF has presided over nearly 100K unalivings. What's a bigger number, 1,200 or 100K? On the low end is 70K. So let's do the low end. What's a bigger number, 70K or 1,200? Same thing that they do with the Holocaust. The Holocaust happens for 10 or 12 years. Never forget the greatest injustice ever, right? Slavery happens for 200 plus years, probably like 300 years or more. Jim Crow, another 200 years. Hey, you need to get over that, but never forget the 10 or 12 years. Same thing with this. Hamas is so bad. They slaughtered 1,200 people. Okay, and in response, you slaughtered 70,000 plus. But you're supposed to be convinced that the people who slaughtered 1,200 people are the big bad boogeyman. Imagine someone was going around actually assaulting people. One person actually assaulted 1,200 people. Another person actually assaulted 70,000. Which one would you consider to be the greatest threat to society? But now we've convinced that the Palestinians, who they say look like Aladdin in flip-flops with rocket launchers, are going up against one of the most sophisticated militaries in the entire planet. They have superior intelligence, clandestine operations, and Iron Dome, and the big bad Western powers backing them up. Imagine Aladdin going up against I don't know, the evil empire on Star Wars, right? Like, come on, man. He's trying to pretend as if it's a fair fight, but I'm gonna get into the video. She said, you won't agree upon everything with everybody. That's life, man. Most people have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband or a wife, and you don't agree with them 100%. But then when it comes to content creation, people will be like, man, I don't agree with B-Eazy on this. Okay, fine. I said 100 things. You didn't agree with 97. I mean, you didn't agree with 3 of the things that I said, but you agreed with 97 of the things that I do say. So rather than focus on you agree with me 97% of the time, you want to focus on the 3% that you disagree with. I'm not perfect and neither are you. We're not going to see eye to eye on everything. People disagree respectfully all the time. Some people will say, hey, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and grape jelly is the best. And some people be like, yeah, I rock with you, B-Eazy, but no, strawberry jelly is the best. Should I cut them off for that disagreement? Some disagreements are that frivolous. You're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. So what if we disagree? That's the beauty in life, right? Disagreement is almost like us going to school, right? Imagine we was all wearing the same outfit to school. That would be cool if it's Twins Day. But look, hey, I want you to have your own style. I ain't trying to be your twin every day. I'm not trying to rock with you like that. That's not necessarily a disagreement, but it's a distinction and it is a difference. So it's okay for us to be different and it's okay for us to disagree. Just do it with some respect. And like Sincere said, they'll never talk about the Black Holocaust. There was a Black Holocaust here, genocide here. They're currently trying to commit an ethnocide here, but we're supposed to forget about it, you know, and worry about everyone else. We're supposed to be worried about some illegal immigrants fleeing their homeland because they were persecuted. I'm persecuted here. So I'm not supposed to worry about me being persecuted here. I'm supposed to look to a distant land 1,000 miles away and say those non-citizens are persecuted and that's who I need to fight for. No. Let's get into the video.
So I know that you guys don't understand the war. You say kill people in hospitals. So the war is in the hospital because the Palestinian terrorists are embedded themselves in those hospitals and schools.
What if you're the terrorist? What if you're the terrorist? You're the terrorist. You invaded their land. You are the terrorist.
So on October 7th,
you're not in Israel. You're in Palestine. You are a terrorist. You're an occupier. That's the point. You're using language to manipulate.
Palestine, first of all, if you're going to go to the origin of the word, it came from Greece.
No, we don't have to go to the origin of the word. We're going to the origin of that land and how your country is younger 100%. Than my grandmother. My grandmother's older than your country. So we don't need to go to play a word game. We're playing the game of fact. The fact is you guys came from Europe and bullied your way in there and murdered the population.
The Ethiopian Jews didn't come from Europe.
Yeah, are you talking about the Jews that you guys tried to stop them from having children so you can keep Israel white? You talking about those Ethiopian Jews?
I say I didn't come from Europe. The Ethiopian Jews didn't come from Europe.
He tried to move past that very quickly, in case y'all didn't know, because once again, there's no race called Jewish in America. 92% of American Jews identify as racially white. There's no boogeyman standing behind them. There's no gun to their head forcing them to identify as racially white. There was no gun to their head to force many of them to change their name. They didn't want to sound as Jewish, so here, let me sound a little bit more American, a little bit more Anglo, right? There was no gun forcing them to do that, right? So this dude is talking about the Ethiopian Jews. Marquett brings up that they were forcibly sterilized, unbeknownst to them, to keep Israel as they talk about it being a Jewish state, but what type of Jewish state? A white Jewish state. You look at this dude on the screen, they'll talk about how they're Middle Eastern, but there's no race called Middle Eastern. There's no race called Israeli, and there's no race called Jewish. So he doesn't talk about the African melanated Ethiopian Jews who they forcibly sterilized because they didn't want them to outpopulate the Lily W Israelis. And this was documented. Times of Israel, The Guardian. I could pull it up if I need to, but y'all can do your own research. All you got to do is a simple research. Israel sterilizes Ethiopian Jews against their will. But once again, they say this is the only democracy in the Middle East. The Middle East is just a made-up place and a made-up term, just like sub-Saharan, right? But all of those countries are inherently anti-black. Israel being no different.
That's silly. The reason you didn't come from Europe, the reason you did not come from Europe is because the colonial settler state was already established. That's why. It's the same thing with me saying I didn't come from Africa. Well, that's because my ancestors had already come here, but that's not where they originate from. And similarly, we're both in settler colonial states. But here's the difference. You guys have committed your genocide on television with no remorse. And you also create a fictitious story.
Which genocide? And now I want you to break down genocide for me.
Well, I don't need to break it down because, in fact, Bibi Netanyahu is up for war crimes and he's a wanted man for genocide. So it's not my opinion. In fact, it's the ruling of international bodies. And if he was not being protected by the Western colonial powers, which are controlled by AIPAC, then he'd be in jail already. So genocide is nothing that need be debated. It's very obvious. Why is it that you guys, the Israeli Zionists, why were you permitted to go into that land? Like, why are you guys worthy of going in and taking other people's land? Like, what granted you that?
You're talking about 1948?
The start of Israel, yes.
The start of Israel, okay.
Yes. And when I say Israel, I'm talking about like the modern nation state that you call Israel.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's going to be a 3-hour conversation if we're going to start unpacking it from 1948 all until today. The information is out there, why the Israelis move in, why we created the state of Israel, the Zionism movement, and all of this, etc., etc., etc. And then you can make your point. You can make your argument. Is it allowed? It's not allowed? My problem is not with your opinion about the formation of Israel. I don't care about your opinion about the formation of Israel. All I care about is the Jew hatred, the cult that has been cultivated since October the 7th. That
it's not since October the 7th. It's since 1948. It's since 1948.
Influencers like yourself, and Candace Owens, and Sneeko, and Andrew Tate.
It's since 1948. You know better than that.
You acquire. I told you already that I don't want to talk about before October the 7th because you do not have the
luxury of deciding what part of history is relevant. You do not have that luxury.
Okay. 100%.
You see, and I'll tell you why it's really important.
Let's go there in a minute.
If you call them terrorists, we have to figure out, is that true? It has to. You know what? We have to figure out, do we accept or reject that assertion?
I personally call it whatever you like. Call it whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Call them terrorists. Don't call them terrorists. On October the 7th, they invaded the land. They shouldn't have invading the land.
They invaded the land. Yes, but in 1948, you invaded the land.
Wait.
Listen, if you steal, just real quick, Omri, let's be real here. This jacket.
What they say, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So he's whining. They invaded our land. Like, did they invade your land or did they invade their land that you stole from them? You know what I mean? So I think Marquett is going to lead into this thing, right? If you had a car, somebody steals your car and then they have your car for 4 years, right? And then you break into the car to steal it back. And then they say, you invaded my personal property. Like, you got comfortable owning the car and accepting ownership of the car, but you never were the true or rightful owner of the car. So they stole the land. They set up shop on the land. They've built buildings. They've built institutions. And they're like, oh my God, look at our land. Look at these beautiful monuments we built on our land. But the whole our land thing is inaccurate because the land was stolen and dispossessed from someone else. And they're telling these people to just abdicate their land, give it up. Don't fight us because, you know, we're the mighty chosen people, right? And some has accepted their fate and they've had to flee and become refugees. And others are saying, hey, this is the soil that I'm from, that I'm native to, that I'm indigenous to. Rather than flee, I'd rather fight and die on this sand and land than run. I mean, I tip my hats. It's extremely commendable, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for, you know, the Palestinian people, the Iranian people, the Lebanese people, even though many of them are anti-black. You know, I can compartmentalize. I do respect that they're standing up. Many of them, there are some sellouts in their communities, but many of them are standing up for their rightful homeland. Many Israelis are from America, other Western destinations. They're not indigenous to the U.S. or Western creation, Israel. It's not a biblical creation.
Right here. If you steal this jacket from me and then 30 years later, I try to take it back, am I the thief? No, I'm not the thief. Right here. If you steal this jacket from me,
call it whatever you like. Call it whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Call them terrorists. Don't call them terrorists. On October the 7th, they invaded the land. They shouldn't of invading the
They
land.
invaded the land, yes, but in 1948, you invaded.
Hey, and looks like we've been joined by an illustrious guest, John Sinatra, aka Johnson Different, in the building. Hey, John, you might want to stick around for this next story. Hopefully you around, because I need you to come up.
Wait.
Listen, if you steal, just real quick, Omri, let's be real here. This jacket right here, if you steal this jacket from me, and then 30 years later, I try to take it back, am I the thief? No, I'm not the thief. You stole it from me in 1948. I'm just trying to take it back. I can't become the thief because I'm trying to take it back years later. You stole it. It's my jacket. Do you understand the concept there?
I do understand the concept.
You do understand the concept.
Do you agree that Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal because the UN said so, right?
He was a war criminal before the UN said so. And the United Nations today is also controlled by the colonial powers. That's why when you have things like Iraq being invaded under false claims, which were weapons of mass destruction. And by the way, those claims were made by your government, Bibi Netanyahu.
We're going to go there later.
It does not matter what the UN says. You cannot fool any of us because we can see the history as clear as day. You always must start at the beginning. It's when the Balfour letter came out.
Whoever is accusing that Bibi Netanyahu is a criminal, the UN has.
For the first time in modern history, college student graduates,
they had a UN resolution of the formation of Israel in 1948. The Arabs didn't want it. Then the war started. The first war started, and then you had many other wars up until 1967 where we occupied the lands in Gaza and the West Bank. We took it back, the Gaza and the West Bank.
You cannot take
on
back
and on and
what
on,
you never had.
on and on and on and okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah, he caught him on that. He's talking about they took the land back. It was never yours to take back. So if somebody comes, they see your car in your driveway. Yeah, I was promised this land because of some biblical text. So I'm gonna take my car back. I'm like, it's not your car. It was promised to me from biblical text. What biblical text talks about the modern state of Israel, right? And people are trying to convince you that whatever the Bible says about Israel, that it was talking about this physical place that was created in 1948. How old is the Bible? Where does the Bible say that Israel should be created by Western powers in 1948? Don't worry. I'll wait.
Even though what you're saying is wrong, even though what you're saying is wrong, because up until 1967, nobody heard about this Palestinian argument, because those lands were occupied by Jordan and Egypt. So that's that.
Here's the thing. Were they your lands? Were they your lands at that time? Were they your lands? You took those lands through violence and murder. Can you at least admit that?
Through war, yeah.
Yeah, through war.
A
war of aggression. In fact, it's very similar to what's called. Have you heard of Lebensraum? Have you heard of Lebensraum?
No.
You're a military man and you're Jewish. You haven't heard of Lebensraum? Living space? Yes, living space. This was the concept that Adolf Hitler put forward, and this is how he tried to justify his war of aggression, annexing nearby countries and expanding toward the east as well to consume parts of Russia. He's basically Bibi Netanyahu 1.0, which is to say you have two fundamental beliefs that are shared. Number one, that you are superior versus others by blood. And number two, that you can take land and you're willing to go to war for it and murder for it.
No Jew that you will encounter and your viewers will encounter will give them the impression that they are superior to them by blood or by any shape or form.
You have to be more honest
and that's the problem. And that's the problem, because now what you're doing, you need to understand that the things that comes out of your mouth for your viewers and you and many people like you, they have a big consequences overseas. People don't understand. People think that Jewish people now, because of you, because the
So now he's over here blaming and saying that Jews are the victims, and because of content creators, Jews are facing all sorts of undue criticism. But what Marquette was bringing up is Lebensraum. So this is the territory that a state or nation believes is needed for its natural development, especially associated with Nazi Germany. Now, what Marquette is saying, what is the difference between Lebensraum and the greater Israel project, right? Isn't Israel saying that they need more of this land, this living space for its natural development? Wasn't Trump over there saying that he wanted Gaza to be a Riviera, which is going to be a bunch of US Western multinational companies building it up, displacing and further creating or exacerbating the refugee crisis in the Middle East? But guess what? Some people are going to get filthy rich over it. So, yeah, what is the difference between the Greater Israel Project and Lebensraum? I'm just saying. Let's get back into it. Give me one moment. I'm going to pull that video right back up. It's only a few more minutes of this video, and then I'll transition into the next story, and then I will shut her down.
The things that you say.
No, it's because of the things you do. Don't lie.
No,
because
no,
of the
no,
things
the
you
things
do.
that you say.
And number two, that you can take land and you're willing to go to war for it and murder for it.
No Jew that you will encounter and your viewers will encounter will give them the impression that they are superior to them by blood or by any shape or form.
You have to be more honest
and that's the problem. And that's the problem, because now what you're doing, you need to understand that the things that comes out of your mouth for your viewers and you and many people like you, they have a big consequences overseas. People don't understand. People think that Jewish people now, because of you, because the things that you say.
No, it's because of the things you do. Don't lie.
No,
because
no,
of the
no,
things
the
you
things
do.
that you say. If Jewish people control the media, what is the PR damage that Israel has? Isn't Israel supposed to have such an amazing reputation now about the world and have amazing PR and amazing, reputation? Don't you see the rise of anti-Semitism all because of the media, all because of things?
No, it's
that
not
you
because
say,
of the media, my dear boy. It's because of the murder. You already admitted that in
BBC. Do you think
1948,
that BBC?
your
You think BBC
country
is fair
was created through murder.
No,
And
wait.
Hey, shout out to Marquette. That was a bar right there. Here's this dude. I guarantee nobody will say that this dude has a victim mindset. But here he is saying there's a rise in anti-Semitism. Jews are under attack because of the media. And he said, no, my good boy, Jews are not under attack because of the media. They're under attack because of murder. You guys, not everyone. I'm talking about the genocidal maniacs in the Knesset and running the Israeli government, i.e. Bibi Netanyahu. You guys are slaughtering people. A disproportionate amount of women and children have been terminated, wiped off the face of the earth. And if someone hates that regime, or they hate some Israeli Jews who are cheering this on, that's not anti-Semitism. They're reacting to some grotesque behavior that they're seeing. But they want to just frame it as, you hate the Jews. It's like, no, we don't. They hate people who are genocidal cheerleaders. Let's get back into it.
Are an amazing, reputation. Don't you see the rise of anti-Semitism all because of the media, all because of things?
No, it's not because of the media, my dear boy. It's because of the murder. You already admitted that in 1948, your country was created through murder.
No, wait.
Really.
Why do you
Hold
change
on
the topic?
You're
changing the topic. You tell me something.
No.
Listen, that's the
topic
problem.
remains the same.
Look what you do.
The fundamental thing you can never call Palestinians terrorists because you guys are the terrorists. You can never call them thieves, for you are the thief. If you stole their land and they're trying to take it back from you, that does not make them a thief. That makes them someone seeking justice, trying to recover what is theirs. And in as much as that is the fact, when you say that there's a rise in anti-Semitism, that is the natural result from you guys displacing yourselves into that region and using violence to have an ever-expanding territory, mind you, while violating many of the rules and conditions favorable to you that the UN set forth. The two-state solution. I'll tell you how vicious the Zionist state is. You may remember the predecessor. One moment. May I complete a sentence? Okay. Thank you, sir. Before Bibi Netanyahu, there was a prime minister who seemed almost reasonable. He was getting on with Yasser Arafat, and he was about to have a resolution that would have some semblance of peace. And frankly, I think the Palestinians were fools to even agree to it because it was their land. But you guys were about to come to an agreement, and then what happened? You're a Jew. You know your history. What happened? Or maybe you don't know your history. You don't know what happened?
Which year?
The prime minister immediately preceding Bibi Netanyahu, and he was about to make a peace deal.
Do you know how many peace
One
deal
second.
resolutions?
No, this one is special. And I'm going to tell you why this one is special. You don't know your history, so I will educate you, Jew, on Jewish history in Israel. This is the education you shall receive. Bibi Netanyahu made his career, number one, being anti-terrorist, which is extraordinary because Israel is the greatest terrorist state. He did that and started it when he was in America. But when he got back to Israel, he hit the ground running and went into politics. There was another prime minister whom he wanted to unseat, and he started campaigning saying that this guy was basically Hitler and he was going to make the Jews victim because he wasn't tough enough on the Palestinians. Bibi Netanyahu wanted blood. And I tell you what happened, because he demonized this guy so bad, he got assassinated. Who assassinated that Jewish prime minister who wanted peace? It was an extremist Jew from the state of Israel, an Israeli who killed him because he was trying to create a two-state solution. That's who did it. You guys do not want peace. You have never wanted peace because you know the only way you can exist is through constant murder.
So I allowed you to talk. Now
please, I yield the floor. I yield the floor. Stay on topic, please.
You're telling me that they didn't have the chance to have a state without arms? They did have a chance to have a state without arms, without tanks and fighter jets. They didn't want that because you need to understand who are the ruling party. Who are the ruling party in Gaza? Who are the ruling party in Gaza, and what is their mission, the covenants over there? You don't know that because you never fought in Gaza. You never went door to door in Gaza. And
I do know because it's common knowledge.
Wait, you see, every time
you just asked a question. You said who? You started with a question. I didn't know if it was rhetorical or not. Did you not ask a question?
I haven't finished my sentence. I haven't finished my sentence.
You did, but just say it's a rhetorical question.
Who is? Let me finish one second. Who is the ruling party in Gaza, and what is their mission? How many people voted them in? You need to understand who you're dealing with. We live in a different neighborhood than you.
This dude does not take any accountability. So this is why I always tell people, when they always talk about the black community has an accountability problem. Really? I mean, do we? Every day you see some crusty, musty, dusty niggas talking about, what about black on black crime? Black people do this. Black people ain't this. Black people is cooked. Black, 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 black. It's a lot of accountability. Do you hear Israelis talking about Jew on Jew crime? Israelis are Middle Eastern. Palestinians are Middle Eastern. Do you hear anyone talking about Middle Eastern on Middle Eastern crime? It makes Chicago look like a walk through a flower garden. But hey, whose culture is this? Who raised these people, right? Because they always want to talk about some people from Oakland and St. Louis that was raised in a fatherless home. Okay, were these people raised in a nurturing home with two parents and a silver spoon? Because if that's the case, how could you explain their heinous and demonstrative behavior? So this is what Marquett was alluding to. The assassination of Yitzhak Rabin. Now, Yitzhak Rabin was the prime minister of Israel who was assassinated in November 1995. That wasn't that long ago. Some of y'all was born in 95, right? Some of your kids was born in 95. So it really wasn't that long ago. But they want you to think that this happened in the distant past. He was killed by Yigal Amir, an Israeli extremist opposed to Rabin's peace efforts with the Palestinians. Well, huh? I thought they said that the Palestinians were terrorists. So a person is proposing peace. Like Marquett says, the Palestinians were quite foolish to agree to it because it's like, bro, this is your land. Why are you even agreeing to this foolishness? But they say, you know what? Yes, you guys are invaders, but you know what? We want to keep the peace. So we will negotiate with you guys and we will give up large portions of our land to you invaders. And guess what? That wasn't good enough. They said, how could you try to collaborate with the Palestinians and push peace? And he was slaughtered, assassinated by his own people. This is Israeli on Israeli crime, but it's not called that. This is Jew on Jew crime, but it's not called that. This is Middle Eastern on Middle Eastern crime, but it's not called that. Why? Why is the black people the only ones who get that? The most people who slaughter people in Colombia are other Colombians. Many of them are brown. It's not called brown on brown crime. The Mexican cartel, guess who they victimized the most? Mexicans. But has anyone heard Mexicans talking about, we got to stop Mexican on Mexican crime? Just show me one video, please. I'll pull it up right now. But guess what? It doesn't exist. Now, his funeral was attended by global leaders, including the UK's then Prince Charles, right? So, yeah, y'all can look that up if y'all want to see any more information. This was the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin by a genocidal, or I'll say a maniac, named Yigal Amir. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull that down. And Sincere says, I don't think it's safe for you to be hanging outside of skyscraper windows like that. Hey, well, when you fly, you don't really got a trip. You know what I mean? And I see you. So, hey, Sincere, you know what I mean? I know you live in the high life in the high rise because you a Highlander, but hey, that's how I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up to your high rise like peekaboo. You feel me? So Sincere, you know what I mean? If you see me, you know, stunner shades, I may have them on, I may have them off, but I will be popping up like peekaboo. You feel me? And I don't know if John is still in the building. I don't know if Big Riggs is still in the building. Y'all let me know. You already know what time it is, Sincere. But Last Call is still in here. So salute to Last Call. I'm going to get into the last story. But hopefully y'all found, you know, some enlightenment with the stories. I get it. You know, I try to give y'all some game, intellect, and enlightenment, things that have replay value. because y'all already have other outlets. If you want to get some drama, y'all got other outlets for that, right? If you want to play some games, you got other outlets for that. But when you want to come over here and, you know, hear some intellectual wisdom, that's what you're going to get over here. Now, it could get a little bit raunchy, sometimes obnoxious, but, you know, it will be worth it. So let me go ahead and stop this, and I'm going to get into this last story that I got. And like I said, depend on how y'all responding to this. Hey, I may come back and hit y'all with a double header. And actually, if John or I mean Sincere too, I mean, actually, you know, I don't mind if Sincere comes up. So let me go ahead and drop this link because this story is not too long, but I would love to get y'all perspective on it. But I really want, you know, John or Big Riggs, both of them or one of the others or either of the parents. So I dropped the link. Give me like 30 seconds so I can get this video up and we'll get back into it. But if you are feeling generous,
if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and smash that. If you're feeling generous, then you can hit the Cash App, $Easy Stack. It's easy to remember. All them donations that you contribute make it feel like it's the 25th of December. Hit the Cash App. It's preferred over Super Chat because YouTube takes 30% off the top, and that's stupid whack. So if you want to see growth and watch the content get greater, send a Cash App to B-Eazy Dat Dude.
Bam. We're back at it. Now, this video I'm going to be reacting to is the rapper Da Baby. Now, what happened was there was a painter. A painter painted a picture of Da Baby's kids. When Da Baby came out of the club, the painter unveiled the picture of the kids. Now, Da Baby had an issue with the man painting pictures of his kids. He thought it was out of line. It was creepy. It was disrespectful. What do y'all think about it? The dude thought he was just doing a nice gesture that may, you know, would have excited Da Baby, but instead it infuriated Da Baby. So is Da Baby acting like a baby over his babies? Let's get into it. So this is the person who I believe painted it. It said, here's the viral painting, guys. I don't see nothing wrong with it, but hey, shout out to Da Baby and his beautiful family. God bless. The mission continues. So the person, he painted a picture of Da Baby's daughters and he signed it. Then he saw Da Baby was in town. He said, hey, look, man, I'm going to pull up to Da Baby. I've painted a picture of his daughters. I'm going to give him the picture of his daughters. But Da Baby, he ain't like that shit.
Another thing too, man, because y'all starting to get on my nerves. Talking about Buddy with this painting of my two of my daughters that he presented to me outside of a nightclub or whatever. First and foremost, I'm not the type of father that I'm not into, like, you know, grown ass men discussing my daughters, painting pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. If you play like that, to each his own. You see what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. Send a picture of your daughters, let them paint them, and then show them some appreciation. Number two, I'm not accepting no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub. Number 3, you see what I'm saying? You feel a way about, you know, the principles I stand on with my kids and how far I go to protect them. That ain't none of my concern. Be more grateful to it. Let's go.
So that was one statement he made. Then he went and took it a step further and made another statement and said, you still got my daughters on your page as a grown man after I made it clear I ain't comfortable with that. Steady plan for this online attention. So when God put me back in front of you, I'm going to show you how serious I am about my daughters. Best advice I can give you. Get my children off your page and keep doing what you gifted at doing. Using my kids ain't the route to go if you want to go viral. That's the route you want to go if you want to get heard. This is a father talking, not a rapper. So what y'all think? I mean, I have my comments on it. Is he taking a little bit too far? And now, you know, you're not just issuing warnings, you're issuing veiled threats. So it's like, come on, bro. You're saying you're a father talking, not a rapper, but that painter dude, you know, before he has to be a painter, he has to be a man, you know, at least he should be. So that's pretty much the video right there. But I want to get y'all perspective on it. Here, let me rewind this back a little bit more just so it can stay on this screen. So what is y'all position on this? Y'all let me know, because, oh, actually, hold on. Because Da Baby said he wanted to protect his daughters, and man, and I'm gonna play back what he said, and then I'll respond play by play to what he said. But he said he wants to protect his daughters, right? The dude painted a picture of his daughters. I don't think the dude was on no creepy P-file type stuff. I thought he just thought that, hey, Da Baby has publicly showed how much he loves his daughters. Hold on, it looks like I've been joined by an illustrious guest. Is that really you?
Yes, me. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. How you doing, Sincere?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm reading this thing. It says YouTube API issues.
Oh yeah. I think it was just I had something like that too. It said that some of the you know how you can send your stream to multiple destinations?
Yeah.
It was saying that some of that, you know, not every destination was working.
Well, they need to not even have that happening, especially if they're giving people strikes and stuff for, what's it called, reuse
Yeah,
content.
for reusable content.
Yeah, like they're setting people up for the okie doke. But I do want to comment about Da Baby, because I like Da Baby, and I feel like I don't know if he's just angry all the time because he's been blackballed in the industry and stuff like that. He's very talented, and he is very passionate about his children. So I can't do nothing
Yeah,
but
bro is
respect it.
talented off top. Like I wouldn't question that. And I'm gonna let you cook. I just want to show this because all you got to do is you type in rapper Da Baby and his daughters,
Mm-hmm.
and look at all this stuff, right?
They're
I mean,
everywhere.
this
His
dude,
children are everywhere.
he got his daughters everywhere. He got his daughter eating ice cream, his daughter with the Grinch, him smiling, him kissing his daughter, him sleeping with his daughter. Look at this. He got his daughter with a bunch of money, and this is his daughter. He can do whatever he wants. So what I'm saying is this is for the public. If there was a disgusting P file, all they got to do is just type in Da Baby and his daughters, and you've already put your daughters out there. So this dude said, hey, look, man, the dude loves his daughters. How about I paint a picture for him? Because he's coming to a concert. He painted pictures of his daughter. He gives it to Da Baby, and Da Baby switches up and saying, man, I ain't accepting no picture of my daughter from no grown man outside of a club. So it's like, hold on. So if he was outside of a Walmart where the baby killed the nigga, you know what I mean? But hey, it was self-defense. It was self-defense. Would it have been cool if he gave it to you outside of Walmart? Would it have been cool if he gave it to you outside of church? So just say that you don't want the painting in general. Why are you trying to frame it as if, oh, because he tried to give it to me outside of the club? So he's framing this dude as some sort of sick, twisted pedophile. I don't play about my daughters, nigga. Your daughters are all over the internet, bruh, scattered. I'm talking about, I typed it like,
I wonder if he's bipolar or something. Because what if that would have been a woman painter?
Yeah, that's a great element too. Like, would he have came at her like that and said that? Oh, but then women could be abusive too. Women could molest and do stuff to kids too.
Plenty of them have over history, you know, and
they do it all the time in these daycares.
When they was running them schools, them Catholic nuns and all of them, like a whole bunch of them. But anyways, that's another story. But yep, they've been doing it forever. And but I just wonder, because like, did you see the expression in the guy's face? Like, he literally.
I'm gonna play the video again too now that you up here, because it's only 2 minutes long. But this is wild. Like, bro got hella videos. His baby's crying. He got video of his baby mama. You literally can see his kids. Hold on, is that? Oh, I was gonna say, is that? I thought he had another rapper holding his baby. I was like, you can't be serious.
Isn't that that like, Danny Lay girl he was with?
Yeah, isn't that her right here?
Yeah, he's not with her no more, and he was I think he dogged her out.
Oh, he dogged her out.
Well, I don't.
Did they have a baby or what?
I guess so, because his song what's the name of that song? It starts with Magnificent. Is it called Magnificent? I think it's called Magnificent. I think it's about her. Danny Lay, that's her name. Let me look it up, because I mean, I was just listening to it today because I like the baby. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has talent. I mean, I think bro could spit. He got a video of him helping his son in the bathtub or something like that. You see what I'm saying? It's like sometimes people, they put their kids out there to the public, and I'm not saying this gives anyone.
The song's called Masterpiece. Sorry, it's the baby Masterpiece, and he's talking about that broad right there.
Oh, that Danny Lee chick.
Or she's in a video, so I just assumed it was kind of focused around her.
Who is that chick after all?
She's a singer. She was kind of rolling kind of tough with Chris Brown and a few people, and then who did she get into? I think it was the situation with the baby that kind of like took her out the game a little bit.
Interesting. So let's play this one more again, and then we're gonna break it down play by play. So you can see right now, could you see that dude face? I mean, it's kind of blocked, but bro is cheesing. So you know he was extremely proud of this. He was like, I know the baby love his daughters. He gonna love this. But the baby looking at it like it just got some boo-boo on it. And then he just walked away. And then now let's look at bro's face.
That's real fucked up. That's real fucked up. You know, like I don't think you should treat people poorly. You know what I mean? Especially if they took time to show that they, you know, they appreciate the things you appreciate. Like how is he gonna ever be around your children? He just wanted to show you his talent and give you something that you can look at, that's, you know, that you could put up. You could have framed it, put it up, you know, on your wall or whatever, like in their room or something. Like, what's wrong with him? I think he got small man's complex. You see how short that nigga is?
Yeah, bro is short. I think he's like 5'2" or 5'1" or something like that.
That's a little itty bitty nigga, huh? I mean, Lord.
Yeah, like Jermaine Dupri is like 5'2" or something like that. So
and he needs to start working out so much, because he's getting like, my brothers went through that too, my brothers, right? Where they had worked out so much, they start losing their neck and shit. So they had to like.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
This stuff had to cut that back because them niggas in here. I was like, wring your neck.
But yeah, if you, that's wild. Yeah, the baby is trying to, but I mean, I can go on a whole separate tirade too. It's like, why are you grown ass niggas keep calling yourselves baby and lil, right? You already know, bruh, you're going to turn 30 at some point. Nigga, you're not gonna be 20 come on, like even when you at 20, you're not no baby, little baby, the baby this, baby that. It's like, nigga, I'm just like, y'all kind of gotta just chill with this whole baby stuff and chill with the whole little, like you already know, right? It's just like if every big nigga calls himself big and every little nigga called himself lil. It's like, where are we going?
What dudes on the, like, come on now. I ain't never in my lifetime met anybody whose their name was the baby. Like in my lifetime. Have you ever ran up on a nigga and his name was baby something or other, or the baby, or any form of a baby?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's like some infantilizing type stuff, which I don't get, which I get it. You know, young males already mature at a slower rate than women, you know, because women have typically access to older men, which are rightly or wrongfully. So they have to mature faster, you know, just for certain other aspects. I'm just saying that's one of the main aspects, right? Because they say, hey, you have a biological clock, so we have to start, you know, grooming you to be a more demure, you know, dainty woman, you know, to carry yourself. With the guys, they have sayings like boys will be boys, you know what I mean? Which is like, yeah, man, them niggas gonna do whatever, but yeah, hey, it's cool. Boys will be boys, you know, they'll get it together. That's kind of how it is with guys. But it's like with women, it's like, no, girl, you need to get your ish together, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna be young and hot for too long, you know what I mean? So that's kind of,
I just definitely was like, this came to, you're just a baby boy, you're not the real McCoy.
You know what? Hey, I didn't realize I want to do like a movie breakdown, and that was one of the movies. That movie is actually lightweight, goated. Like when you just watch the movie from an entertainment aspect, you like the movie. But once you watch it from an analytical aspect, man, it's spot on. You know what I mean? When you look at Jody being a baby boy, right? Remember, he was living with his mama house like a little baby boy, right? But then he was also moonlighting at staying with his baby mama. What was, I can't remember his name.
So Roger P. Henson was the baby mama, and then he was trying to control both of the fucking dynamics in both houses.
Exactly.
But he didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw out of. I was like, And Vin Raines came in.
And then remind you, he was still sliding. Remember, he had some side chicks too that still wanted the D. So when you start looking at all those aspects, like, bruh, Taraji was letting you drive the car. She was doing all this other stuff, but you driving the car to go put your peen in some up. You feel me?
To pick her up and stuff, out here straight disrespecting. You know, I mean, it was horrible. And then he had to go back home to his mama, and the mama found love with Vin Raines and stuff. And he wanted to walk around naked because, nigga, you ain't been here. This is her home, our home together now. By now, I don't know. I definitely couldn't walk out butt booty naked in front of nobody's children. I don't care how old they are. No, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. But bro,
that
but you gotta mind
you,
it was like way weird, but at the same time, remember, bro was institutionalized. So a lot of these stuff you've already become distorted. At any given time, they tell you, like I said, I talk about it all the time. Just an intake, they telling you, drop your pen, spit,
cough, bend over, cough,
spread your cheeks. You, and at some point they'll do that at any time that they suspect. So then on top of that, with the showers and stuff, people become desensitized to walking around with their dongs out. You feel me? Especially around other dudes.
Gross. And then he damn near took him out the game, choked him out, right?
Yeah.
Stuffed him out. I'm like, how can you be with a man who damn near took your son out like that? I mean, that would just put my antennas up like, what? Something ain't right with this nigga. I mean, I enjoy your dick and all, but something ain't right with you, fool. You
Hey,
know?
yeah, because he was piping her down. I think he gave her the African squat. He gave her that African squat, and I shout out to Red Six. I thought her name was Yvette, but I didn't want to speak out of turn. Yeah, Taraji, her name was Yvette. But hold on, was Taraji moving foul because she was still taking calls from Snoop?
I don't think did Taraji. I think the only reason why Taraji even got with Snoop, if I could recall, was because how he was acting. Not to say it was right, but how he was acting towards her, because he really wasn't there unless he wasn't seeing the other girls. So I think it was like a get back. But I don't think she wanted Snoop either. She got rid of both of those niggas. I remember. Didn't she get rid of both of them in the movie?
Now, I thought Jody got his act together at the end. See, now I got to
Yeah, but
rewatch.
he got his act together, but he wasn't with Taraji in the end. Like they didn't make it. You know, they ended up being cool though. They ended up being like,
okay,
yeah. So then you kind of understand why. You kind of see that she wasn't trying to be with Snoop either. Like she just wanted to get that nigga away. Like she just didn't know how to escape the situation. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so she needed another guy to come in to kind of like put the smack down on Jody.
Man, I gotta rewatch that and break it down. But that was like that was a great movie.
Yeah, we all should probably just rewatch it and kind of get so it could be on point. Because after if you don't see a movie after a while, you forget like finite details. You know what I mean?
Nah, I agree. So let me play a little bit more of this video. But yeah, I definitely want to tap in on that one. But man, this face is just sad, bro. Like to really paint like that's a lost art, because now, people have all sort of digital art, people have AI. So somebody that's physically took the time to paint, and I just showed you, if you type in the baby and his daughters, a litany of photos comes up. So if someone is looking in and someone is a fan, hey, I like the baby, I'm a fan. Bro loves his daughters. I paint, you know what? I'm gonna paint a picture, you know what I mean? And when you think about it, I'm sure a bunch of people have always painted pictures of the baby. So if I'm looking at this dude from a painter's perspective, he said, man, I bet nobody probably painted his daughters for him, though. It's like a Kobe Bryant thing, right? People have painted pictures of Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan.
And paints cost a lot. If he would have done an oil painting of those babies, he would have been hella pissed. I'd have been pissed like, motherfucker, do you know how much money it costs for oil-based paints and what's it called that they paint on? The canvases and all that stuff. Like, man, I probably would have took that paint and whopped him upside his head. Fuck it, we gonna fight here, nigga. Disrespectful.
I mean, mine as well. Shit, since he ain't want the painting anyway.
Okay.
So let's play his reaction though, because I want to break that down play by play too.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this is the dude's reaction. He said, here's the viral painting, guys. I don't see nothing wrong with it. But hey, shout out to the baby. He tagged him and his beautiful family. So dude is being humble. He says, God bless. The mission continues. So it sounds like bro wasn't even bitter. Like, dude, the baby was disrespectful. Fine. He didn't want to take
He said the mission continues. So that's his hustle. Like,
yeah.
Like, look, you ever seen that one guy who, what he does is he takes pictures of the people, the stars, like at the premieres and different stuff, and he tells them to twirl and he catches them like in slow motion. That's his hustle. That's his art, right? Capturing them in these like, intense looks, frame by frame, very slow. But, and all the artists, all the, superstars and stuff, they like it. They like, now he's always stationed and they're always right there to take the picture. How do you want me posed? And what do you want me to do? And how to sharpening my hair? And that's him. He's trying to do that with his art, right? To say like, if this person accepts my artwork, then the stars will come to me. Different people will come to me and they'll be like, paint my children. Like, the baby's a hater. He's a hater right now.
Yeah, this is coming off haterish, and this is what people need to do in terms of compartmentalize. What happened is what happens oftentimes is what people will do is, hey, I like the baby. Some people may talk about how they love his music. Some people may be physically attracted to him, so they'll try to excuse this chicanery that's going on. But it's like, nah, bruh, like, and I always bring this up. A lot of people like to Bible thump and talk about how Christian they are. Well, idolatry is a sin. This nigga is not no God, right? So no one is above reproach. Not me, Sincere, and definitely not the baby. Not even this painter, right? So the painter is just taking it on the chin. Okay, the baby made me look sad and stupid out there. I ain't tripping. He's still saying God bless and the mission continues. And now this is going to allude to more of the point that you saying, like the baby starts coming off like a bitter, grouchy old man. Like, nigga, you're not hella old, bro. So why are you sounding hella grouchy and bitter? So now I don't really like to just throw that Napoleon short, tiny midget man complex on people, but it is kind of giving off that vibe. Let's hear what the baby has to say.
Sorry, I had to do something real quick. Hold on a second.
Okay, now you good. I'm gonna just play the video.
No, I'm here. I'm back. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Talking about Buddy with this painting of my two of my daughters that he presented to me outside of a nightclub or whatever. First and foremost, I'm not the type of father that I'm not into, like, grown ass men discussing my daughters, painting.
So he said he's not into grown ass men discussing his daughters. And this is kind of to your point. Would he have said this if this was a woman? Why didn't he say grown ass people? But then
and
he
where's
said
the plural coming into play? It was one man that with a painting. Like, where's the plural?
That's what I'm trying to say. He acting like it's panels of niggas talking about the baby's kids. Nigga, nobody is talking about your kids like that. This dude was a fan. He saw that the baby was coming in town. I'm a painter. Just like you said, the dude that captures celebrities twirling, this is his hustle. Oh, if Cameron was coming into town, if Mace was coming into town, Lauryn Hill, Kanye, I'm sure he would have painted a different iteration of some type of painting for them too, because that's his hustle. So
that is his talent. He's talented.
And the picture was fire. He's not saying that the picture wasn't fire. He's saying that, man. So let's hear what else he says. This is already weird right here. What he's saying, he's not into grown men discussing his daughter. Nigga, nobody discussed your daughter. The dude, like, when he painted the picture, he didn't create content talking about the baby's daughter. He just painted his daughter. Your daughters are plastered all over the internet, my boy. Like, come on, bruh. You gotta do better than this, nigga. Hold on, let me play some more.
Discussing my daughters, painting pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. If you play.
So, nigga, no one has to take a picture of your kid. Once it's on the World Wide Web, it's for everybody. When somebody say it's for the streets, right now, if your chick is a hoe, if your mama is a hoe and she posted some OnlyFans stuff and someone leaks it on the internet, that's for everybody. You can say that it was meant to be. Yeah, it's like, come on, bruh. Do I gotta pull it up again? This nigga's kids are all over the internet. All somebody has to do is just take a picture and just draw the picture from the Google. I just showed you. All y'all gotta do is type in the baby and his kids.
If this fool come up with a lawsuit, I'm gonna be outdone. But go ahead.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised, because now he's trying to make it seem like he's just being daddy dearest and standing up for his beautiful babies. I get it, bro. But this is why I wanted, Big Rig and some of them other parents to come up here, because this really don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Especially, it's not like it was some random dude, right? Some random dude who's known for being a mechanic comes up with a painting of your kids. That would be different. This dude's whole talent is being painting and he does his talent, and then you want to frame it as, man, I ain't into grown ass men discussing my kids. Nigga, nobody brought your kids up. So
it's crazy. He crazy.
Yeah, bro. And he talking about simple as that. No, it's not as simple as that.
Painting pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. If you play like that, to each his own. You see what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. Send a picture of your daughters that they.
The other thing too, he has a bunch of pictures of his kids. Clearly, it's not a selfie, so someone else took that picture. Is he telling me that only all women took those pictures? So if he's over there with his brother, man, you a man, don't take no pictures of my daughter. Hand the camera to the nearest woman that you can find. All of those pictures, none of those pictures that I pulled up of him and his daughters, none of them were selfies. All of them, somebody else took the picture. Unless you want to be convinced that every picture he put on a self timer. We know that ain't the case. So come on, bro.
You mean to tell me took that picture, and it could have been one of his homeboys, anybody? It's like, stop playing.
Another man. So it's like, what are you talking about? Oh, won't no man taking no. It's like, come on. Now he's trying to do this kind of like Epstein P-file play, trying to interject
that dude should sue him, because now he's like defaming his character in a way. You know what I'm saying? You're painting a picture of me being something I'm not, when I was just, I was just showing you my mastery, my talent. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this kind of a L for bro. I think he a little bit outlandish with
but
this.
The baby been taking L's. Like he been taking L's, and it didn't add to his character at all. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let a little bit more of this play, because not only after this he responds again, and then I'm gonna break that one down.
Mm-hmm. To each his own. You see what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. Send a picture of your daughters, that they paint them, and then show them some appreciation. Number two, I'm not accepting no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub. Number three, you see what I'm saying?
So look at his like kind of incoherent babbling. I'm not accepting no pictures of my daughter outside of a nightclub. Why didn't he just say I'm not accepting no pictures of my daughter? Why does it have to be outside of a nightclub? Once again, if he was outside of a library, would it have been cool? If he was outside of a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle, would it have been cool there? Would it have been cool outside of a church? What institution or facilities would it have been okay to give you a picture of your daughter? And if there's no,
he might have would have acted better outside of a church, because then he would have to pretend like he has some godliness in him.
Yeah, that is true, and I think he's from North Carolina, and that's the Bible Belt. So
okay, maybe, he would have had to act right then.
Or if he was outside of like like some sort of anything to do with LGBT, because they already like kind of buck broke. Yeah. So it's like that's the only thing. But now, when he wants to go at niggas, he's framing this as he's like, right now, this is just giving off like a little bit petulant, petty child. This is not giving off like loving father. I'm not saying that he's not a loving father. I'm pretty sure that he loves his daughters dearly, which why the dude wanted to paint a picture that was so sentimental to him, because he's being a loving father. But this is not the vibe that I'm giving off. This doesn't seem like, oh man, he's just a dad trying to protect his girls. It's like, bro,
it will be a real plot twister if that painter happens to be LGBTQ elemental.
Oh wow. We might not be seeing the baby for quite some time then, because right now they don't care, because they just see it as just another black dude, another nigga that got disrespected, and that's what blacks do to each other, right? That's the narrative. But if the plot twist, then they be like he was LGBT, then they gonna start writing articles. Well, the baby has a history of homophobia and blah blah blah. And they gonna start bringing all this stuff up. It's the same thing that they doing with Kanye. Did you know that they banned Kanye from the UK because he just did an amazing show, right? And don't get me wrong, Kanye is bipolar. So sometimes he's Kanye that you've grown to love, and then sometimes he's Kanye, which is the buck broken MAGA loving moron. You know what I mean? But he went on an apology tour, right? And he has a legitimate disability. when they had that dude at the BAFTA Awards, right, who was yelling out nigger, 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 right? He just kept yelling out nigger.
Yeah, Tourette's and don't understand no kind of racism or anything. Okay, you learned it somewhere.
Right. No, that's what they allege. But they were like, you can't attack him for saying nigger. He has a disability, right? Well, so does Kanye. You can't attack him for his disability. The dude had a life-altering car accident where he could have died, which is why he made that song Through the Wire. His jaw was wired. He had to eat everything through a straw. Like, this is what really happened to him right now.
And then the death of his mom sent him over the edge.
Yeah, that was big too. Right now, a bunch of people, I hear them all the time, like, man, I ain't been right since I lost my granny, or I ain't been right since I lost this person, right? So it's like, how you think Kanye feels, but you don't care because he has hella money. And that's sometimes people will do that. He got money. What he tripping for? It's like, yeah, just because he's money, he has money.
He got with the witches of Eastwick, the Kardashians, so that was crazy too.
Yeah, don't remember he was playing with the, Amber Rose, so he had a history of like toxic relationships as well. So I'm not super sympathetic to Kanye. However, he doesn't need to be drugged through the ringer, and let him have the same redemption as everyone else, and there's always a thing. If someone is considered anti-Semitic, we have to cancel him. Kanye had been talking about black people in a much more targeted, a much more offensive manner, right? When he was saying, he made that song about Adolf Hitler, he didn't say anything negative about the J people. All he said was praise Adolf, right? I don't agree with that, but like, he didn't even mention the J people in that song. And they want to frame this Adolf dude as like the worst person to ever walk the face of the earth, but he's not. And actually, I do have a stream that I'm going to do where I talk about how the U.S. supported Adolf. Did you know he was Times Man of the Year? Did you know that in the war, many of the Nazis were sitting with the U.S. soldiers? So when there was an American Nazi party, or the U.S. let a bunch of Nazis come over here. You know what I mean? So we have to stop pretending as if this Adolf dude is the worst monster to ever walk the face of the earth. And even if he was,
they don't even want to talk about the Africans and the Asians that were part of the Nazi party.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about that, or the Africans that were that they used in a bunch of German experimentations, right? They only talk about the Holocaust and what happened to this chosen group. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of black people over there that got slaughtered too. They got slaughtered for them being experimental lab rats, and they got slaughtered for fighting to stop the Nazi regime. But unfortunately, no one cares. Never forget. Okay, fine. I don't want to forget. So why are you omitting these details? You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't even want to talk about that. So I don't buy the whole thing that Adolf was just this worst person. If he was, who trained him? Ain't that what they always ask? Who raised him, man? Fatherless home and all this stuff. Was Adolf?
And I don't know why the Jewish people don't take accountability for them using the Torah and the Talmud to support, slavery and how many slaves they own and stuff, and how they try to sweep that up underneath the rug. Like, everybody hiding their faults out here.
Correct. And did you see when I was talking about mitzvah bapeh? Did you hear when I was talking about that?
No. Bar mitzvahs for pay?
No, it's called, hold on, let me bring this up before I get back into this story. There's a practice called mitzvah bapeh or metzitza bapeh, and it's a Jewish practice in some Jewish households, or where, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's a traditional part of the circumcision ritual where the mohel uses oral suction to draw blood from the circumcision wound. Now, where would a circumcision wound be at?
Oh.
On a penis. So this practice, which is called mitzvah bapeh or metzitza bapeh, is they suck the blood from this infant's penis to basically protect the circumcision wound, and it's intended to protect the infant's health. And I broke it down earlier when I was talking, but this is what it's called, and they say that this is from the Talmud. Now they use more advanced modern procedures. They use tools to do the circumcision. However, some Jewish sects, i.e. some Hasidic and hold on. Yeah, so some Hasidic Jews and some other Jews, they still perform it because they think that they were instructed by the Talmud to perform it. So
They
yeah,
use
y'all
the
can look.
Talmud to do all kinds of crazy stuff. That's the truth of it. That is the truth of it.
Yeah, so that's one of the things too. So the whole thing is to make sure that, hey, to draw blood away from the wound, they need to suck on the tip of the penis so that they
That's
can
really
heal.
that's really that's something.
Hey, it's not my ritual. I'm just saying, like, I put it on the screen just in case, because when you say this, it's considered anti-Semitic, and they say, "Oh, we don't do that." Yeah, some of you still do, though, and I'm not saying that everyone does it. And the people that don't do it anymore, some of them used to do it, right? This is widely known, and see. It's funny because you can say anything about black people and it's just like, get over it. But then when you say facts about this specific demographic, everything is always labeled anti-Semitic. It's like, I don't own Google. When you type in Google, this is what it comes up with. So is Google anti-Semitic? Google is ran by a bunch of people of this chosen community. YouTube is owned by Google. This is why they call YouTube, some call it JTube. So, hey, this is no anti-Semitic propaganda. I mean, it just kind of is what it is, Unfortunately, when you bring up this stuff that makes people uncomfortable, it's framed as anti-Semitic, but they can say anything about us, and that's not anti-black. It's just like, get over it, bro. Why are you triggered? Well, why are y'all triggered by the truth? So let me let a little bit more of this play.
I stand over my kids and how far I go to protect them. That ain't none of my concern. Be more grateful to it. Let's go.
Okay, so this is where I wanted to pause it at, because this is pretty much the end of the video. All the dude did was just take the couple clips and then he just stitched them together. So you saw the response that the dude said, right? He was okay with the baby, rudely just disregarding him. And he just said, "Hey, the baby, God bless, and the mission continues." And he shared the photo of the viral painting. And this was the baby's response after he had just gave the response that I just responded to. He said, "You still got my daughters on your page as a grown man after I made it clear." You see how he keeps emphasizing the grown man? But like you said earlier, would he have been saying this if it was a grown woman?
And then also it's like he's painting a picture, but go on, the baby, you straight up Picasso.
That's what I'm saying. Go off, huh? So he's like, after I made it clear, I ain't comfortable with that. Like, what is he saying he's not comfortable with? He's not comfortable with another man who is an artist. I can see, like I said, if it's a mechanic, I get if you're uncomfortable with the mechanic painting a picture of your daughter. I get it if there's a nurse painting a picture of your daughters. But a painter painting pictures of your daughter,
I don't get it even then, because people are multi-talented. I could be
that is true. That is true.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, that is true. And that's a great point, because now that I think about it, people do try to put you in a box, because if you create music and then I go out and do some philanthropy, man, I thought you was a rapper. So what, nigga, I'm only supposed to make music and that's it? Same thing, you design your own clothes. Since when you start doing that? Nigga, I'm not just gonna film videos and not just do anything else. You know what I mean? Then if you are a mechanic, then it's like, man, you cleaning niggas carpets and shit? Yeah, nigga, I got a carpet cleaner. Like, why? I got multiple hustles. Like, so that is a good point, because people do try to put you in the box. If you know how to knit sweaters and stuff like that, then people think that you're unable to do some other things. Or if you are able to do something, they just, kind of typecast you as if you're only allowed to do that one thing. You know what I mean?
And how many actors were once before school teachers? So once they became actors and start getting the bag that way, did they take away their degrees to be a teacher? Like they're no longer a teacher?
Yeah, I don't think people really think this type of stuff through. And unfortunately, many celebrities, especially rappers, they have a certain level of what I call popularity privilege, because they're popular. People may like them. They may be attracted to them, whether it be physically or materially, emotionally, spiritually. They try to live vicariously through them. Oh man, he from my hood or something like that. Or man, we the same zodiac sign, etc. But it's like, yeah, bro, if somebody is on some BS, just call it out. I don't want to hear that somebody made a platinum record, so that's why I can't call them out. Or you've been listening to Drake for 10 years, so you don't want to call him out because you feel like you're betraying him from calling him out. It's like, this nigga don't know you. And if he was around you, he would probably be as rude to you as he was to that painter. So why are you like looking up and idolizing these people? It don't mean that the music they make ain't gonna slap, or if you go into a party, you ain't gonna, you feel me, cut a jig to it. But it's like, you can do both. You can dance, you can twerk, you can spread eagle on the dance floor, and then say, yeah, bro, you're moving a little bit weird and a little bit goofy in this instance, right? Don't need to tear them down. You don't need to tell everybody to have boycott his music or anything. It's just like, yeah, bro, nobody is infallible. And this was kind of a swing and a miss for the baby on this one. But he said, steady plan for this online attention. Nigga, what do you think you're doing? What celebrity doesn't want online attention? So then when they try to clamor for online attention, then they get mad at content creators. Oh, y'all want his attention. Nigga, you want attention to your records. You wouldn't put out a record unless you wanted people to pay attention to it. By listening to it, is them paying attention. He puts out these videos. He wants people to pay attention, right? So this is like the pot calling the kettle black. Y'all playing for this online attention. Nigga, they're doing what you're doing. So then he says, when God put me back in front of you, see, this is where it gets goofy. Why are you even bringing up God?
God don't have nothing to do with the demonic thought that's going through your head right now to bring harm to this man who's just trying to do you something nice. Like, stop it.
So some, if you're a true Bible thumper, some could consider this using the Lord's name in vain, depending on how you interpret it, right? Because some people, you ain't supposed to say, I put that on God and I swear to God and all this stuff. And when God
you're not supposed to promise to God, because you can't hold your promise.
And this is what I'm saying.
Promise to God.
Then he's also saying this is a little bit disrespectful, because you saying when God put me back in front of you, he's going to threat. So hold on. You mean to tell me that God's plan is to put you in front of someone to commit harm? Is it really God's plan to put you in front of someone to commit a sin? Right?
Yeah.
Now he's supposed to love thy neighbor and turn the other cheek. Does this sound, he's threatening this dude? Like,
thou shalt not ill.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, bro, like, why are you, he could have just left God out of this. And this is why it's just like hard to respect when all these cats be running around talking about Jesus and God and the Most High. And you got this iced out Jesus piece. And they say, what would Jesus do? Jesus wouldn't have got a iced out Jesus piece. So let's just start there.
He would have went to the nearest lake or ocean and got a whole bunch of fish, and then went over there to the nearest baker and made some loaves. Okay, some loaves for you.
And that's what I'm saying. They be called, and I always tell cats, according to modern standards, Jesus was a dusty.
Okay,
the nigga was walking around dirty rags, flip flops. Like nobody would have been trying to check for Jesus. But then you're saying, all praise to Jesus. But then you going around looking at people, looking down at people, saying they broke. This dude's a carpenter, kind of like Jesus was. But you looking down at the working man. You're looking down at the garbage man because he don't got an iced out chain. He don't got an iced out Jesus piece that Jesus wouldn't even have wanted.
Okay, because he was a skilled person, right? A person of the land. So he had some kind of skill. He was a carpenter, that he worked with his hands and stuff. He was of the people, right? Just an everyday working person. Like, stop it.
And but that's not these people at all, right? So it's just crazy, you know what I mean? And so this really does kind of get infuriated when they like to use God's name in vain. And then you're just supposed to look up to them because they said God. Well, I don't want to disrespect God, so I agree with what he said. It's like, bro, he just disrespected God, but you're not going to call that out.
This is another thing. If he was so concerned about this man who painted his children, like, if you felt that way, why didn't you just take the picture so that your children's picture won't be in his hands no more?
That's what I'm saying. Take the picture, then go on viral and say, hey, bro, appreciate you doing this, but you know what I mean? You know, I'm a shelf this, or I mean, destroy it or do something. I don't know.
Keep your children's painted image in the hands of a random stranger and then call foul. Like, stop it.
What do you think his children would have thought of it? Because I'm sure if his daughter seen that, they would have been like, oh, daddy, this is beautiful. And then what he would have scolded his kids, a grown ass man painted this. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here?
And children are so innocent and honest. They would have just said it.
They would have loved it.
But, you know, they would have been elated, you know.
So it's really him. Like I said, he's interjecting this grown man. Like, why is he emphasizing this grown man? Like, because he's trying to make it like some sort of P-file Chester the molester. It's like, where are you getting this stuff? It's like he's saying it without saying it.
It makes me think that maybe he has some childhood trauma and he is not out there.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to overcorrect.
Yeah, like something like he's overprotective because something possibly happened to him.
And he's fixated on grown men. He kept saying that. I don't want no grown men talking about my daughters. I don't want no grown men painting my daughter. I don't want no. He just kept saying grown men, grown men, grown men, and daughter. So there could be something there. I don't know, but
or
like
something could have happened to somebody in his family or a sister or something or a cousin, and he's just hyper vigilant, overly it seems very extra and rooted in something.
Yeah, I mean, look, he said, God put me back in front of you. I'm going to show you how serious I am about my daughters. This is another thing that I don't like too. Whenever it's something that's either neutral or good, it's on God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then when they do something, what was it? He killed a dude in Walmart, self-defense, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that God's plan? Why don't they say that, right? When this nigga doing goofy stuff and get locked up, hey, that was God's plan for you to get locked up. When dudes is in the prison and they're getting their butt cheeks violated, that's God's plan, right?
You better hope nothing happens to this dude because it's gonna be God's plan to lock his ass up. He gonna be the first person they gonna point fingers to, based on what he was here.
That's what I'm saying. And then when they give him some football numbers, hey, that was God who did that. Like, I'm just tired of every little good thing. When somebody graduate and get a degree, that was God. You know what I mean? But then when they were drunk driving and crashed into, a thing, yeah, that was God too, right? Oh, no, that was me. That was me. I was stupid. Okay. But you won't give yourself credit for being smart and ambitious in acing your SAT. I owe it all to God. How was it God? Was it God that woke you up to study, or was it you? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I don't get that, same thing that the people, they win a championship, they score 50 points. I owe it all to God. Like, but bro, if you didn't train every day, all those hours that you were training, you would have sucked. That wasn't God. But then it just goes back to, well, he created me, so he created this. Fine, he created you, so I don't
think like as human beings we're ever ready to deal with the situation that we ourselves might be just abandoned children. Maybe like you were created and just left behind.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever just thought about that concept as well?
I think that's the more accurate and appropriate outlook of that. And I don't think it needs to be a woe is me type of perspective. But I think it will provide a certain level of clarity once you look like that, right? You know,
Yeah.
if you see yourself as lost or abandoned, and shout out to my boy Bolo TV, because he always talks about your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Right.
So if we're all lost, it ain't just me that's lost, it's all of us lost. So how do we find where we fit in? Based on the vibe, based on the deeds and stuff like that. And that's what's going to attract your tribe, you know? And that's what they say, you actually are who you attract. So when people be saying, you know, man, these niggas ain't shit, and then I start looking around who you around, it's like, come on, bro. You hanging out with this low down thuggish nigga. You hanging out with this musty homosexual, right? You hanging out with this ratchet chicken head. Then you like, niggas ain't shit. Like, yeah, the niggas you hang with ain't shit. That's why you have this twisted outlook on life. And that's what your vibe attracted, because you hate to say it, because you ain't shit. That's, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how it is, you know what I mean? The whole misery loves company. You know, it's plenty of people getting along with each other. Sometimes you see people, they so happy, and then people get mad, like, ain't nobody ever that happy. No, you're not that happy, you know, because you haven't created a reason to be that happy. You're not around people who love you and care about you enough so that you embrace a certain level of happiness and enchantment. But he also says, once God put me back in front of you, I'm going to show you how serious I am about my daughters. Best advice I can give you, get my children off your page and keep doing what you gifted at doing. So once again, there's multiple photos of his kids scattered all over the internet. One page I see is called nickyswift.com. One page called reportminds.com. There's multiple photos of his kids on Reddit. There's one called lovebscott.com. His babies are on that. YouTube. People got photos of his kids on YouTube. Atlanta Black Star. Photos of his kids on there. Some other channel called Capital Extra. So it's multiple outlets that had his babies on here, but suddenly
I think Love B. Scott is the transgender. Go ahead. Let me look it up real quick before I say.
Okay, that. Cool. I thought I heard that name before. But yeah, so his baby's pictures are all over, and none of these are like paintings, right? They're not customized, exclusive imagery. It's photos that someone else took and someone else uploaded, right? But he said, using my kids ain't the route to go if you want to go viral. So now he's trying to misrepresent dude and saying he's just trying to go viral and using the baby's kids. This is disrespectful, because now he's speaking to the dude's character as if, man, you know a way I can go viral? Drawn by painting look the baby's kids. Is that what we really think the dude did? Or all of these places have tour dates? Oh snap, the baby is coming into town. I paint, let me paint this quick picture and I'm gonna give it to the baby in person. And then ideally what happens is the baby likes the photo, you take a photo shoot of the baby holding up the photo, and that helps add a certain level of prominence and prestige to your brand of painting. That's really all I see it as. I don't see this dude as some pedo perv creep who was obsessed with the baby's kids. If he was that, he would have wanted to keep the painting as some sort of sick souvenir. I don't think he would have wanted to give it away.
Facts. So definitely. That's definitely.
Go ahead, sister.
No, I'm saying that I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing. Like if he was like into something like that, he'd have been like doing weird stuff to the picture at home, and he would have never knew about it. You know what I mean? Like, stop it.
And then, what do you feel about this? Because he says you trying to use my kids to go viral, and that ain't the route. That's the route to go if you want to get hurt. So now he's threatening to hurt this man. But mind you, It's in the name of God putting me back in front of you. So why did he even mention God in this? He mentions God putting him back in front of them and then threatens to hurting the man. Is that God's plan?
That man is just, I think he might, something's going on with him. Something's just not right. This whole thing seems like it's just overkill, just over the top, overcompensation, just anything.
It's like, why is this lightweight a story to be?
Yeah, like why is it even happening? And then look, okay, so yeah, B. Scott is a, what do they call transgender trans non-binary voice, right? And so the name of the publication is Love B. Scott. And then B. Scott at one point in time was a host on BET's 106 in Park. I didn't know that. Judge BET Rip the Runway, different things. And so I wonder if he had put up a big, fuss about B. Scott having, her or him on their magazine. Like, was there an issue about that? Let me look and see. I'm going to go deeper.
So Luke Skywalker says, y'all already said it, but I think the guy was trying to make a sale and got his feelings hurt trying to do something special for the baby. Well, I don't know. Was he really trying to make a sale? Like, because I know a lot of times, because my brother does a lot of artwork. So shout out ATG Against the Grain. So y'all can just type that in if y'all want some custom work. But there have been instances where, like, I know he created something for Killer Mike, right? So and some other high level creators too that he made something for. I know he made something for LaRussell, Killer Mike.
This same painter right here?
No, not this painter. I'm talking about my brother.
Oh, your brother. Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is, when he gave those people those, it was kind of like on the strength. So it's like, hey, I'm going to Sincere Function or something like that. Here, let me create something for Sincere. Yeah, I charge for my artwork, but I want to give something for Sincere to have that holds some sentimental value or something. So just think if you're going on some random show, whether it be The Breakfast Club or Joe Rogan or something like that, you may gift them a custom thing, right? Which you normally sell, but you're like, man, I'm going on this higher platform, so here you go. So I don't know if dude was actually trying to sell it, because if he gave it to the baby for free and he just did a photo op, that would have already boosted his sales right there. So sometimes people use, celebrities and public figures to make a bigger sale, because those people, they get things all the time anyways. They get people trying to sell them stuff all the time. So sometimes it's better for you to just get noticed. Here, I got this gift for you. You know what I mean?
I don't see why he's not coming at these news outlets and different people who have, published his children. Like, what's the problem? The dude didn't even fucking publish anything. He just said, hey, it's okay.
Well, technically, he's saying that he did publish it because he put the painting up. So he took a picture of the painting and posted it on Instagram and tagged the baby, the one that I showed you where he said, God bless and the mission continues. That's why the baby was saying, you still got my kids up there. And he was threatening him that he needs to take those kids down. So he's considering that being published. Mind you.
Oh my God. I'm just reading up on this. Did you notice that Charleston White is supposed to be the cousin of the
Oh, I had forgot about that twist. I had forgot. So now you had just reminded me. Yeah. So now the baby and Charleston White is beefing, and the baby is threatening to pull up on Charleston White, because Charleston White is like, bruh, that was my cousin, nigga. Why you feel me? Why you treat my cousin like that? And Charleston White speaks in a lot more colorful language, and now the baby is turning it into, nigga, I'll pull up on you type time. Yeah, so yeah, the plot thickens. But yeah, look at all these. I'm gonna try to look for that B. Simone one too, specifically. Oh no, the Love B. Scott.
Yeah, I know. I just looked at it, right? So Love B. Scott is a trans non-binary voice, right, with a magazine, right? And is in television and media. And so that's how I know about Love B. Scott, because I remember Love B. Scott got being on YouTube too. So it says right here, B. Scott, born, is a pioneering American internet personality, television host, and producer known for their entertainment site lovebscott.com. Rising to fame on YouTube in 2007, they are a prominent trans non-binary voice, becoming the first to host the BET Awards style stage and hold an advice column at Ebony. Mm-hmm.
So this is on the Love B. Scott page. The baby with his little daughter licking an ice cream cone. I mean, this is more compromising than the photo of his girls just smiling. You got your baby licking a cone, which I'm not trying to sexualize or anything like that, but this is what the baby is doing. He's trying to overprotect his kids. Man, I don't want no grown men. And speaking of grown men, you got B. Scott or whatever. What's this person? Love B. Scott, who
the trans person.
He kept talking about grown men, grown men, grown men. Does that include Love B. Scott? He didn't say trans people though. So maybe trans people and what they would call cisgender women are okay to take photos and be around his daughters, but just not grown men. Yeah, bruh, the baby, bro, might need to seek a little bit of therapy because it's given delusional, bruh.
This is gonna get way out of hand because Charleston White has tapped his little weird self up into the program.
Yeah, and they both Charleston White trying to maintain some level of
notoriety.
Relevance. Yeah, that's how he gets booked. Oh, did you hear what Charleston White said? So we have to book him on there and all this other stuff. So for me, I call him Coonston White.
When he was running around with that one dude, him and that one dude, they was running around interviewing all those racist people in the backwoods. Remember that?
Yeah, and he had on the little Confederate get up.
I said, now look at this ignorant stuff right here. This is so ignorant.
Yeah, so it's not just ignorant, it's like really like quite pathetic, you know what I mean? And I get it, bro. If you down bad and you think that's the only way for you to get a check, then just say that. It's just like, just stop expecting for people to like, glaze and praise you and super respect you. You're willing to throw your community under the bus for some coin. You know what I mean? That just means that you have no integrity and no principles. You're successful. Hey, bravo, pat on the back. You know what I mean? But this is why I go back to Jesus, right? Like y'all praise Jesus, y'all don't praise the rich people who are around in those times, right? So which one is it? But now it's flipped, right? They want to praise all the billionaires who don't give a crap about them, and then look down on people who's doing the work that they can't even do, whether it be carpentry, mechanic stuff, farming, or anything like that, right? What would Jesus have said about those people?
This here, look, I'm gonna read this to you real quick, right?
Yeah.
So it says Charleston White, right? I'm reading it. And apparently he was on Instagram, so you can like see the video as well. But he basically said to the baby, F your babies. The baby, you want us to think you would have done something to a ninja, painting a picture for your kids. F your kids, bitch ass ninja. F your girls. This is Charleston White. White said before further defending the artist, he ain't trying to go viral. This is what he do. So that's what he does. But he's just basically let them know, F your kids. And then I guess DJ Academics have posted it like his rant. Charleston White is a weird looking dude. Like, I think he might. You think he on the spectrum?
He could be.
I think he's spectrum affiliated.
Yeah. I know he's definitely a rat, bro, ratted, which I don't know why any cats that act like they would any type of street activity listen to this nigga. If they want to just say that, okay, cool, he's funny or he's controversial, fine. But then people will try to, you know, uplift, man, he from the streets. Yeah, but you came from the streets where they was talking about snitches get stitches and all this other type of stuff, right? I don't have an issue with him snitching or anything like that, but don't try to hold him up as like this ultimate street nigga. Like, no, this nigga's just a rat. That's all he is, a rat with a platform. You know what I mean?
He definitely looked like a rat. Like looking at him, he looked like a little you know, creature, some kind of mouse or something.
Yeah, because he was proud to snitch. So I'm like, okay, if the nigga is proud to snitch, then I mean, why wouldn't I call him a snitch? It's a bunch of chicks out there that's hoeing, and they're proud to hoe. Like they if you told them, hey, would you want to work at Walmart or hoe? They like, I'm not working no minimum wage. I'm gonna go out there and, you feel me, bust it wide open. They're proud to be hoes, so why wouldn't I call them a hoe? This nigga, he brags about snitching and shit like that, right? So like, that's what the nigga is. So that's what I'm gonna call him, a snitch.
Now, Charleston White is claiming that the guy that did the painting is his cousin, right? And he came to social media to speak on it. Now, at first, Charleston had a real kind of like mild response, knowing Charleston. He didn't really go too hard, right? But he, you know, he was saying that this guy's a very reputable guy. He does a lot of good things in the community down there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He does a lot of great paintings.
So that was another thing. This dude is like a pillar of the community too. So it wasn't like some sick pedo perv who was like, ooh, look at the baby, sexy little kids. It's like, come on, bruh. He's a grown man. Yeah, the nigga's a fucking painter that's renowned in the community, bruh. You're a celebrity. People rock with the baby, bruh. They think the nigga's dope. So you have always talked about he's a loving father. Even now, he's trying to say, I'm standing up for my kids. I'm speaking as a father. Okay, that's why he painted this for you, to give tribute to you as a father. But then you turned it into some, man, that's weird, man, grown man. No, what's weird is how you acting, the baby.
Charleston was saying, you know, he never liked the baby, and he was giving his opinions on the baby. Now, you know, Charleston, he jumps in everything to try to get into the algorithm, right? So Charleston, you know, when all this happened, he came to social media. He did this.
Shout out to B White Creations. And I just want to say, I never really liked the baby. I just never really liked the baby. I ain't really into his music. I remember he was coming through Fort Worth. And the reason I ain't never liked the baby, because I first seen him in Austin, Texas, walking around naked with a pamper on as a grown man. So, grown man with the name Da Baby, no way. But
hey, and like I said, even a dead clock, even a dead clock is right twice a day. Almost forgot about that.
I forgot about it too, because he was running around with a pamper on. See now, oh Lord.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna let a little bit play, because I see it's funny because sometimes you just forget, or because we deal with so much stuff, it just gets erased out the memory. But yes, this was a grown ass man. He keeps saying, this is what he keeps saying, grown man, grown man, grown man. Well, nigga, you were a grown man walking around in a baby diaper. And also just think about this. Imagine you trying to pop at a grown, sexy, fine, demure woman. What's your name? The baby? Baby?
And in a diaper, no less.
that visual lightweight sent me. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. And then they want you to be taken seriously as a man. I'm a grown man. Respect me. I'm a man. What's your name? The baby? Nigga, there's nothing grown about being called a baby.
It's damn near like no hope for the black community, black men, like with niggas like that running around doing stupid stuff like that. I'm just confused. It's getting confusing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's quite unfortunate. Let's play a little bit more.
The guy who drew the picture for him is my second cousin. His name is B White. He runs an art studio called B White Creations. Very reputable guy. Every celebrity, and I mean every celebrity who have come through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, B White Creations have drawn a picture for. He's very popular. He's drawn pictures for everybody. He don't ask for no money. He does this, and he's very creative. He does this on wood. So he does this on wood. So he's drawn this for me.
Now,
and like you were saying, you were talking about the painting and the canvases. The wood is more expensive than the canvas. So not only did he use wood, then maybe he used more expensive paint because he wanted it to last longer. Like you talked about the oil painting. So he used a high quality of paint and he painted it on wood, which is a higher quality, more durable, and more expensive than the traditional canvas, right?
That stuff ain't cheap. It's not cheap. Go ahead.
No, it's not. You think it is until you have to go buy it. But since you don't paint, and we're not even talking about the brushes, you need multiple brushes. You can't paint that with one brush. You need a thick brush, a super thin brush, a kind of spade, frizzy
like
little
brush type of like brush. It's kind of flat, and then they have one that fans out, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't. That's why they have a set of brushes, because it requires all of that. Same thing when you have a tool set. Like that one screwdriver ain't gonna do the trick for everything. So we got the more pricier wood, the quality paint, the brushes, and obviously the most important aspect, the time and effort that he put into it, right? He didn't have to do it. He's done it for, like Charleston said, for all the celebrities that pull up. He doesn't charge them anything because he knows that this is what helps build his brand. Because when you can say, hey, look, I painted a photo for Beyonce and this person and this celeb, nobody ain't gonna be like, man, how much they pay you? Some people will, but other people are just going to be marveling at the work that's done, and that will help make your brand more reputable.
He seems like an ambassador of some sorts for their city, for their community.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of the city folk, gave him love and respect. So, like I said, this really shouldn't even be a story right here, but now it's just like escalated out of control. And let's see, because I've already covered the baby's response here, so let's see what else Charleston has to say after that. Hold on, let me let this ad play.
Also look to see if any other celebrities have came out to speak against the baby after that too, though. I want to see.
Okay.
The baby, no babies, and I don't care about no kid at Walmart. Yeah, he was mentally ill. I got me a rapper. I'm finna trick off the streets. Now, the baby, you want us to think you would have done something to paint a picture for your kids. Your kids. Your girls. Now let me see you in jail. Cause I can tote a pistol. Yo, babies, want to paint a picture of them babies. He ain't trying to go viral. This what he do. You just a yeah. Oh, baby. Yeah. Now come do something to me. I keep something ready for any one of you. A gun, a knife, a mace, or the police. I can say, baby, and you can't do nothing to me illegally. Oh, man, baby, I bet that don't do nothing to me. I keep knife, I keep mace, I keep gun, and I keep 911 on speed dial. I bet he don't want to go to jail. They say you a killer. I like to pick on killers. Oh, baby. You ready to go to jail for baby? Not really kids. I mean kids. No, for real. Them baby. Give a I know kid. You think I give a
Charleston White is holding the mirror up to the community, right? Because he wouldn't be able to do this and get away with this if people didn't allow him. Right? If all black people on social media got fed up with him and wanted him to get out of here, he would have to go. But he's flourishing because now this is the thing. He says some things when he's being serious that matters, right? But then when he does this, he's trying to say, well, he's playing the character. I'm behaving the way y'all behave towards each other. I'm just giving it the way y'all give it. Nah, man, like it's not cool, bro. Because the thing is, you ain't even had to get involved in this. This was none of your business. And then get on there and say F his kids where he said nothing to you, right? He said nothing to you. Y'all ain't beefing. He had every right to tell the man to take my children down off the stuff. I don't want my children up there, right? He had every right to do that. But Charleston, being Charleston, because he know he can get away with it.
About my neighbor's kids, when I see them run out in the car about to come, I don't say nothing. I don't say, hey, y'all get out the street. I walk to my car and say, kid. My neighbor's kid. He think them gay people got him. Get here, boy. I'm gonna get that money out. I don't get that money out there, boy. I don't get that money out there. I'm gonna get the money out there, and you're going to jail. Bottom line, I'm sick of you talking. I'm laying dead to put one you in jail. If you swing on me, you're going to jail. Let's see if you tough like Pooh Shiesty. I think you got that pussy. I don't think you got 2 years in you. I don't think you got 2 years in you for a premeditated. I don't think you got it. Somebody gonna off you. I don't give a f if I get off.
This dude is the worst of the worst, man. He's the worst of the worst, man. But he's able to flourish because people allow him to be who he is, right? And he goes and he says some positive stuff, and then he just goes way off the rails, man. Because this ain't the first time he says some real horrible things about people's children. Now, his argument is, well, y'all put in the raps about hurting children, mothers, and which is true, right? Which is true. And this is why, as a foundation of Black Americans, as FBA, I say you're responsible for how you teach people how to treat you, by the way you treat each other, and the way you treat yourself, right? So Charleston is holding the mirror up to the community. So when you see certain things that you don't like that Charleston say, you got to check it all. You got to check it all. Because that's just what it is, man. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think. What's your opinion on this when it comes to Charleston White and him disrespecting this man's kids? And do you think that the baby had a right to have his opinion on the man painting his children and still having his children's face?
So I've been looking. I haven't seen any like other celebrities. Usually a lot of celebrities, they try to just stay out of these things because this really shouldn't even be a story. And for, someone that's a prominent figure, it usually serves no value for them to take a side in like a specific incident like that, because it's going to be a damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If some people that agree, then they're going to be like, see, so-and-so agree with me. And then
I thought somebody would have caught one of them, TMZ or somebody talking about, hey, what do you think about the baby?
I know maybe it is. I've just been scouring the net. I haven't seen anything. There's a lot of outlets covering it, but they're kind of recycling the same thing. The baby doubles down, all this other stuff. And
then he should have just I feel like Charleston White could have spoke to the situation. There's nothing wrong saying, hey, my cousin was just trying to give you a picture. He does this for everybody. But to come out here and do all that extra stuff and say F the babies and stuff, he could have kept that to himself. So he didn't really do his cousin any justice in that matter,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And then to like the brother was saying, and this is why, I don't when I do react, I'm usually critical of Charleston White. I don't play like a lot of his stuff because he'll say some things that you occasionally agree with, but the majority of his things, he's doing a lot of what I call the Sambo shuffle.
Yeah,
he's stepping, fetching it. He's always throwing the community under the bus, but people kind of feed into that. And this is what I how I touched in yesterday, how your brain is automatically wired to have a negativity bias. So when people are talking about constructive things that are enlightening, things that are help build and enrich you, that's considered boring. But if you ask someone, hey, do you want to be enfranchised? Do you want to be enriched? Do you want to have a certain level of success and sustenance within your life? They'll say yes, but then they're not listening to things that will help provide that. They're listening to things that do the exact opposite, right? Hey, do you want to be in shape and have a six-pack? Yeah, I do. What you about to eat? A bunch of donuts? and drink some Pepsi. It's like, I thought you just said you wanted a 6-pack, right? Man, we want to build up the community. Okay, are you going to go listen to philanthropists who about to build up the community? No, I'm finna go listen to the beef sector.
Yeah.
I thought you said you want to build up the community, though. You feel me? So then people will talk about all the issues with the community. It's like you're perpetuating every issue that you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
they'll say that, oh man, these hoes ain't shit, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, right? They'll say that, right? And then I see it, I'm like, bro,
all of it.
I'm like, but I'm saying all the chicks that you with are literally bitches and hoes, though. Like, you mean to tell me you can't find any, conservative, virtuous women, right? All the women that you could attract are hoes. What does that say about you, right? It's not about the hoes, right? Because hoes, they say, well, you know what they say the oldest profession is, right? Which means hoes have always been around, bro.
Right.
But also respectable, virtuous women have always been around. If you're not attracting the virtuous women, but you are attracting the hoes, does that say more about the hoes or more about you?
Right. What you like and what you attract, because you must be, looking for it. Or,
so why are you whining about it? So many hoes. Oh, these bitches on OnlyFans, but you don't fuck with OnlyFans bitches. So why would it matter? Right. Unless you are trying to, penetrate those chicks, then what are you complaining about?
And more than likely probably got rejected by one of them, because that's usually they end up acting that way.
That's always the case. It's like when those like little moist goofy niggas used to be like, hey, what's up, sincere? Let me holler at you, little baby. Oh no, I'm good. Well, fuck you then, bitch. Like it's like, hold on, you just was trying to holler at her. She was the finest thing you ever seen. Then as soon as she hit you with that Heisman stiff arm, fuck you hella fat anyways, bitch. It's like, bro, you make yourself look hella weak, because if she was that ugly, why was you trying to holler? If she was that fat, why was you trying to holler anyways? And you seem like an emotionally hinged little bratty child that you can't deal with no. Your daddy told you no. Your mama told you no. If you was living to see your grandma, she done told you no before. Your teacher has told you no. You've been rejected before, but suddenly it's only triggering when a chick rejects you. But it's like, bruh, I'm not saying some chicks are just better than you, but there is a thing about being out of your league. If you are a certain student and you say, hey, I know I'm smart, but you may be community college smart. You may be UC Irvine smart. You may not be Yale or Harvard smart, and that's okay. You shouldn't be treated as less than a human because you don't get into Harvard, right? But that getting into Harvard is out of your league. That's what some of these women are, not just because they're just inherently.
I should say at this moment, because
that's what I'm saying. At this moment.
Yeah, because you can elevate yourself. You can make yourself more refined. You can strive to be what you want, and then go for what you want once you accomplish that. But by that time, a lot of people are on some like a vindictive or vendetta train, right? Where it's like V for vendetta. They want to get back at everybody they felt, either rejected them or whoever they felt victimized by or whatever. I look like I'm not fat and stuff no more. I got the 6-pack. I got all this. I got I got a career. I make buku money and stuff. Kind of like, what is those two fools? The two fools, the Arab and the Nigerian dude. Those two. I feel like they were.
Oh yeah.
Myron and what's his name?
Fresh and Misfit.
Yeah, like them. Like, for a fact that they were dweebs. You know what I mean? They were
off top
rejected or whatever, and now that they have this platform, which they don't really have it no more, but now that they have,
have it. It's just they're not monetized.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But you could tell, like when they were in the when they were soaring, right? When things were like they were right in the midst of it, where they were getting the dollars and all the women were showing up. You could tell that they had never really been around those type of women during their life. Like this was all new to them, and they were just acting appear, as I would say, or as Clyde Diva would say, appear nickel out here. They was just acting.
Well, actually, they alluded to that in Myron, who's a tether, and his name is Amaru Fuddle, right?
Mhm.
Or I call him Amaru Fudil, right? He had said he gave an analogy which he stole from someone else. He said, because remember how I was talking about typically women, they mature faster, you know, they have a lot
Mhm.
more they're introduced into, let's just say, the sexual marketplace at an earlier age, whether they're actually promiscuous or not. Just, you know, their puberty becomes more visible, right? You know what I mean? Like in terms of their boobs, their curves, and all this other type of stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, a guy could be, you know, undergoing puberty and still have a squeaky voice and acne and all this other stuff. So even though that's puberty, the visibility doesn't get seen the same. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, oh, like, oh yeah, she got boobs, she got her period. That they're considered, you're a woman now. You're ripe for the
In some
picking.
countries, and that's really not, it's not a good thing because some girls have their menstrual at 9 years old. You know, the
Correct.
menstruations, like, it's not
And you
good.
know that used to be the age of consent in Nigeria, also in Japan. The age of consent
Horrible.
was 10. Now they raised it up to 13, but up until a few years ago it was 10. So you can be 40 years old with a 10-year-old, 60 years old with a 10-year-old, and they'll say, hey, it's legal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
And
disgusting. It's just
it really
disgusting.
is. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
And that's always talk about when people try to talk about culture and all this stuff. This is their culture, like up until a couple years ago. Now they're still, so now instead of being 60 years old with a 10-year-old, you can be 60 years old with a 13-year-old. You know what I mean?
Still disgusting and just weird.
Exactly. But that's what they go off. Oh, she had a menstrual. She ain't no little girl no more. Stop infantilizing her. She ain't no little girl. This a young lady. She's a one, like, so then it's a rejection of you to see those girls as girls. They
Yeah.
turn into ladies and young women. Meanwhile, the boys will be boys, right? You see what I'm saying? They get to maintain their adolescence of boys. But as soon as you see some blood, oh yeah, that's a woman. And she's
No.
ripe for the picking.
Like those two that Fresh and Fit, you could just tell they were just nerdapalooza, just nerdy, nerdy, nerdy. They got rejected across the board. They were probably looking for vengeance towards whoever, and that's why they started, like, like you could tell in their conversations with those women up there that they were just like degrading those women off of things that happened in their past. They would say the most heinous things, like anything they could think of that was just the most disrespectful, they would go there with those ladies. And then I thought to myself, what is wrong with these broads? Why are they even
Yeah.
allowing for these conversations?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of trauma involved too. Like, where was these chicks' daddies, and forget they daddies? Where was they mamas to let them know that, hey, you don't let no man talk to you like that? And this is why we always talk about clout is a hell of a drug. They
Right.
do anything for clout. You're willing to go up there. See, when someone is disrespecting your community, just because they didn't say F you sincere, but they disrespect your community, then they just said F you to you and your mama and your grandma. You can't diss an entire lineage, an entire community, and you think that somehow your mama is exempt. If I say fuck all black people, all Moorish people, all Hebrews, all whatever you identify as,
That's what it
that's not
means.
just, yeah, that's what it means. It says all these words have a meaning, but people try to condense it down to be like, oh, well, he ain't talking about me, or he only talking about a small subset of a group. And it's like, nah, man, it's like that shows you how weak and cowardly you are when people are willing to go on these platforms. And it's, I don't mind going on these platforms, but I'm going on these platforms and I'm going on there, I'm going for the jugular. You know what I mean? Everything that I'm
Yeah.
saying here, I would say to them. I'll call them cats tethers. I'll call out their lies. I'll tell these dudes that they were dweebs, because they were. And the analogy that I was saying was Amru the tether was saying, like, essentially that, imagine like women, when they were younger, right, they were always allowed to go into, and this is just an analogy and a metaphor speaking, right, women have always been allowed to go into the candy store and have their pickings of whatever they want, right? Meanwhile, the guys, they've been able to not only get like one piece of candy, right? So what I'm saying is, like, the women, they've always had, especially, like I said, especially when you start having boobs and you get the menstrual, you already got the young guys at your school want to holler at you. If you're in the 8th grade, the 6th graders want you, the 7th graders want you, and the 8th graders want you. And if they want you, then that means the 9th, the 10th graders want you as well. But for the guys, if you're a 6th grader, an 8th grader ain't checking for no 6th grader guy unless you're extra exceptional as a jock or popularity. As a freshman, the seniors ain't checking for no freshmen. However, as a freshman, you thinking like, damn, them senior chicks look hot. You feel me? But they ain't checking for you. So that's the analogy of they've always had their pick of whatever in the candy store. Now, the jocks are like the beautiful women. They have their pick of the litter too, but like Amru and this other dweeb, they never had that. So now that they had a little bit of money and they lead with their wallet, now they have access to all the candy in the store. But now they're just eating candy and throwing the wrappers down, which is what you see with them doing with the chicks, right? They can have a civil conversation and they can debate them, they can debunk them. Why do they need to demean them? Why do they need to disparage them? Making monkey noise, calling anybody that sleeps with black women night riders and mud sharks. Why do they need to do that? They don't. It's just they have no respect for the community, the lineage, for women, especially black women. So that's why they do that. But like, what type of person would be considered like a ladies' man, a player, an alpha? But bro, all of your conversations are super toxic towards women. Bro, if you like penis, just say
primarily
that,
black women. They hate
that's what I'm saying. And there's countless videos of this dude being hugged up with white zaddy. It's like, and then he's trying to, boys will be boys. Hey, you'll never find a picture of me hugged up with Big Rig, my bro Spit, Travion, John. Salute to my bros. Love them niggas. I'm never gonna be hugged up with any of those niggas ever.
Okay, he's like just weird. It's like
hella photos. I'm gonna try to pull them up. They got hella photos of this nigga kissing on white dudes, and they asked him like, "Bro, why were you in the bed with white dudes?" And he said, "Some boys will be boys, man. We were frat bros. We were just joking around, bro." It's like, huh? I don't joke around with my bros like that.
Did it ever come out that they did like? I know the kissing was there, but did anything ever come out about the sexual conduct, any other sexual conduct?
Well, with his white homeboys,
white, yeah.
That I'm not sure, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised, if he was on the DL.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Did you hear there was a whole scandal about him and his girlfriend? Did you hear about that?
Oh, wait a minute. I think so. Wasn't it like,
yeah, she dumped him for some fat Hispanic roller skater dude?
Yeah.
And then not only that, did you know they never had sex?
Really? Now that part I didn't know.
That's what I said. So he said they were in an open relationship. He was smashing other girls. She couldn't smash other men, but they never had sex. And mind you, his chick, she was hella racist too.
I mean,
barely could speak English.
She was just playing him because how did she never have sex with him? You know what I'm saying? They were never like together.
And he was paying. He was like paying for her. You know what I mean? I think he was paying some of her bills or something like that. And like you said, they never had sex. And then it was like framed as if, because he's, an anti-black bigot, some people slight way try to frame it as if she was kind of a victim. And then they pulled up videos of her, being just as racist as him. It's like, no one was shocked. You know what I mean? She's some sort of Latina chick.
Anybody could play either one of those fools. They just give off the imagery of such, but they could be played all day, every day. You know what I mean? Like, they're just dweebs. and racist dweebs at that, or at least maybe they're not even racist. Maybe just
Nah, they're racist.
Well, some people play it because that is the
Yeah,
niche.
no, I hear what you're saying. That is a quick way to fame. If you want to
Yeah.
get some lucrative stuff, all you got to do is kind of buck dance and what
Yeah, like
about
they'll
black
play
on
that
black
lane.
crime? Yeah.
Yeah, they'll play that lane and be all these things, and just so they can get to the buck. But I wouldn't, I feel like they are. So, I'm not gonna even go there with the other side of it with that debate. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. But I'm gonna get
Yeah,
out
no,
here
yeah.
because I'm
Oh
tired.
yeah, no, I was just about to tell you. I was about to shut it down. Are you going live later or what?
I might go live later, but I feel like I want to take a nap. But I am
Okay,
like,
cool. You got
I'm
to
a
get your
little,
beauty rest.
well, I think so. Like I feel a little tired. I don't know why I've been feeling tired, but I do have some time, and I do need to take this time to go live.
You tired. You've been running through people's minds all day.
Oh, maybe not. They be hating on me they be hating on me on this app. I mean, I've been at this for a while, and
Hey,
it's
you know what they say? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
I'm sick of it though. Like it's just like
I know, yeah,
it's
yeah.
very
Well, with great power
unnecessary.
comes great responsibility, Sincere. You know that.
That's true. I'm gonna have to try to be. I'm just, I overlook it. I just be overlooking some of this stuff. Just like forget it. Let's go and are you ready to rumble? Let the games begin, so to speak. Mm-mm-mm. But
Okay, well,
anyways, thank you for
yeah, hopefully
having
you
me
get
up
some
here.
rest. Oh yeah, no, you VIP over here. So yeah,
Aw.
salute to you. And y'all subscribe to Sincere Saida's channel. She's always cooking up. And yeah, I appreciate you, and whenever you stream live again, I'll try to pop in that thing.
Okay,
Now
thank you for
if
sharing me out too. I appreciate that.
oh yeah, I'm always share you out. I be seeing you drop the link, but I can only pop up when I can get into my investigative journalist inquisitive bag, because I don't really be knowing the names,
Yeah,
so
you
I
don't
can
know the
just only
players in the game. Yeah.
yeah, so I can only ask from a layperson, well, do you think they were right about this? Oh, well, when did this beef start? You know what I mean? So I could come from a perspective as if, because you do got some people that will just tune in, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And then they will get intrigued, but then they may not know the backstory. And maybe you may not want to repeat the backstory, but then it may sometimes be relevant, you know what I mean? So that's sometimes I just be in the clouds, because I don't know the specific, you know what I mean,
Don't
the
worry
specific
about it. You
people
can
stuff.
touch down and ask questions because I try to give the backstory to some of these fools.
Okay, yeah. So, sometimes I
Yeah.
will just pop up for that because I think it would be good too. Because a lot of people, I've even had a bunch of cats ask me like, bro, did you like go to school for journalism and stuff? It's like, nah, bro. It's just like gotta know how to ask the right questions, but also ultimately, what are you trying to get out of the discussion, right? And I try to make sure that there's some clarity to the discussion, but also it's done in an intriguing way. Because I see sometimes people pop up on a panel and I'm like, damn, man, I'd rather just hear Sincere pop it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people be talking over or like over talk. I'm not saying any specific panel, I'm just speaking in a broader
Yeah.
perspective, which is why I don't always drop the link, because a lot of people will come up, but it's like, bro, you just want to come up. You really don't have anything to say. You know what I mean? Like, come up and bring some scholarship or some level of articulation to the discussion. And
I
not
wonder how
everybody
like
is able
you
to
could
do
get
that.
on Pierce Morgan because I want to see you on Pierce Morgan because I think you can debate those people very well. I think that would just be awesome to see. And then
Yeah,
he'll probably want you to come back, more and more because you definitely gonna bring it, and they definitely gonna, it's gonna get views. I wonder how that would happen.
hey, I know I have to tap in. You know what? It will probably be the same thing as like when Amazing Lucas went on there. He did like a complete crash out, which I
Yeah.
supported, and then they never brought him back. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they'll and that's really all I need is one time, you feel me, to just go nuclear on there, you know what I mean? But that's really what the biz is. They'll bring on like Mark Lamont Hill, or who I call Moist Lamont Shield. They'll bring him on there because he's not really going to challenge power or the established order. he'll just be arguing that, hey, you know, in favor of trans bathrooms or something like that. So Piers Morgan brings him on there for like these culture war issues, but not really to solve anything. So I wouldn't mind. I'll go on any of these platforms because that's how we are. We don't duck no intellectual smoke. But because, you know, a lot of people are not intellectually formidable to challenge me, you know, they'd rather
I
just
think
act
you
like I
like
don't
a good
exist.
debater, so I think you would end up coming back more than once because I think you would actually have the conversation, debate whatever talking points there are, and then make them stand accountable in the sense of they would have to make sense of what they're saying, right? And so, yeah, they'll just get stumped, and that'll be it. And then you know, one will be wanting you to come back, like, okay, let's try this round again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into that, but I mean, I'm always, you know, open for debates. You know, this ain't just a soapbox, but it has to be, you know, really done in good faith. A lot of those discussions aren't really done in good faith, and then there's a way that they try to craft the narratives where, you know, whether it's like, you know, cutting people off and all this other type of stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm always, you know, I'm always open for it.
shoot, I like to see you debate Candace ass too. That would be awesome.
I would love to. You know, she would never do that, which is why they would love to have bigger. And I always tell people, hey, look, didn't you go to a prestigious university? So in terms of degrees and academic accomplishments, you know, you well surpassed me. So you should wipe the floor with me, right? This should be an easy victory. And you know what I mean? That you can laud and tout to your audience, but then they know
Mhm.
that it won't really go like that. So they rather just, you know, that's why a lot of them, you notice most of these people, they get on monologues. So they just do a show where they talk to the audience, an audience that agrees with them.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
they have the access to get anybody on their channel. A lot of people all the time, they say all of this negative stuff about Tariq. He's a grifter, he's this, he's that. Bring him on and debate him. This nigga every night he has a TikTok or Twitter where people could just call in. He spent like 2-3 hours every night. Nobody ever calls in. Nobody contacts him to set him up. You know what I mean? It's like, well, debunk that nigga in real time. Why are you talking about him rather than talking to him? So then they'll want to talk to a bigot, a racist. They'll talk to them, but they won't talk to, you know, the people that they claim is misleading the community and all this stuff. Well, go up there and debate it. He's not ducking no smoke. So why won't you debate him? And this is for all the people.
Yeah,
Roland
it's all
Martin,
about keeping the
Candace.
narrative going, though. They have to keep the narrative
Yeah.
going. Hmm.
And they won't be able to do that if they bring people like me on, people like Tariq, Marcel Dixon, Terrain Walker, right? These are people who actually challenge what they saying. Tim Black, Phil Scott.
Oh, they
And
definitely ain't gonna have Tim Black on there.
yeah. and and shout out to you know, all these people. Like I you know, I definitely respect them, you know, but
Mm,
I don't respect these people because these people are supposed to be thought leaders, right? If
right,
you are, so imagine if you're a basketball player, right? If I'm an NBA player, I want to play against other NBA players. I don't want to play against the G League. I don't want to play against college players, and I don't want to play against high school players. But what did people like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro did? They went to high schools and colleges to try to debate people who are barely have gone through puberty. You
right.
guys are supposed to be
Don't have any
professionals. Why
kind of
you not
life
looking?
experience at all. They haven't seen anything, went through anything, or even had any kind of cultural experience outside of what they've been dealing with, which is their own, their own culture,
And that's who they want to debate. They don't want to debate the big dogs. You don't gotta like Tariq. Tariq is a big dog. You know what I mean? Phil Scott,
Yeah,
the Black Authority. Go debate the big dogs and go destroy them because that's what you said you can do. Don't avoid them and then talk about them. And when all of them are open, literally all of them have a channel that you can, and they'll drop the link for you to call in. Roland Martin don't got no link for you to drop and call in. Candace Owens don't got no link for you to drop and call in. Joe Rogan or any of these other people, Piers Morgan. So they manufacture consent. They pick and choose people, and then they try to say, hey, these are the representatives of the left, the right, the blacks, the Jews, or anything, right? It's a carefully selected and curated bunch. That's not really authentic. So it's only so much of it I can respect. But yeah, I do appreciate you rocking out with me. You know what I mean? Like I said, depending on how it goes, I might come back and do a little short stream in like a couple hours, but who knows? But I do appreciate you sliding through, Sincere. And
I enjoy
keep up
my
the
time
great
with you. You know
content.
what I'm saying? We were over here and not, it's nicer and I enjoy my time. That's all I gotta say. I'll be back. I don't really hit links like that, but I hit your link, so I'll be back.
Yeah, like I said, you're a VIP over here, and yeah, you're always you're always welcome. And then I'm gonna try to plan something. I've been trying because I got a lot of dope content coming up and some very prestigious guests coming on here. But I do want to have a segment, and then hopefully you can come up here, and then you can we can kind of talk about navigating the sectors, deflecting the hate, and how to become a successful creator. I want to give people some some different perspectives, to know what to expect when they jump onto this YouTube Thunderdome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I got quite a few haters, people that just want to be on some kind of emotional roller coaster when it comes to me and stuff. So, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like I just I never intended to set out a certain way with folks or whatever, but it just played itself that way, and so it is what it is.
All right, well, keep up the great work. So I'm gonna play some couple quick visuals, and then I will be up out of here.
All right, well, let me drop down. Bye. I'll see y'all.
Okay, peace. Bye. So that was the lovely, Sincere Saida. So she came through. Go ahead and give her channel a subscription. She is over there. There are, she does deal with a lot of drama, a lot of haters coming at her, but she's kind of like Uma Thurman and Kill Bill. It's a lot of people coming at her, but she still prevails. So salute, Sincere Saida.
Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah. Shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. There's a lot of niggas that say they real. To me, that shit is far-fetched. Them cats is pussy. They really is on some feminine stuff. I ride up on them with the 40 ounce. It's the definition of adrenaline rush. What it do is it's sweet like cinnamon puffer. My niggas is rough like Willow Pass. Grew up out on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on Willow Pass. These birds that I roll with, outcasts and misfits. Better zip lips so you get hit when the fifth spit. Flat line in your pit. Trap habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Goku. For the cocaine, they go cuckoo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God, it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on shite racking and fly back out the mill. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
So Roger Meadow says, I just got here and you going off. You can't stream simultaneously with my little sister B. Well, you know what? This was unexpected. I had some time. I was hoping that it was going to be a shorter stream so that I can go over right to Sabby and salute to the sister, Sabby Sabs, aka Sabrina Salvati. Go over and subscribe to her channel. She has some phenomenal content. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch the replay. I did share her out. But you said watch watch on the rewind. Will you watch this on the rewind? And I'm gonna go watch Sabby on the rewind. So it's all good. Roger, I knew you wasn't gonna be over here. I wasn't expecting it. You know, I know on the days the Sabby stream, you're gonna be over there. So salute to Sabby. I appreciate the work that she's doing and putting in. And of course, I had to shout out the 504 boy, Wode, New Orleans, in the building. It's all right. I'm watching you on the rewind. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. And salute to the bro Roger Meadows, Nassau County, NYC. What it be? What it do? But hey, where Brooklyn at? So yeah, you've come to the end of the stream. We're already 3+ hours in this thing. So I do appreciate y'all for stopping through. I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple more visuals and then we're out of here.
Be easy, tell me how it feel. Ooh, tell me how it feel. To be real, to be really that dude. Be easy, that dude. Ay, 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 that dude.
Oh, you ain't know? That's just B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, B-Eazy that dude, ayy.
He's styling and profiling, fresher than a mannequin.
Hey yo, who's that? Mama, there go that man again.
He the one who get the block booming and make the trap move. I'm still trying to figure out who is that dude.
Oh, you ain't know?
That's just B-Eazy, ayy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude, so you gotta let him cook. He be going dumb off the hook, got all them haters shook. He a king, you a rook, so don't ever start tripping, get it twisted or mistook. B-Eazy Dat Dude, boy stop playing. You know you dat dude and been dat dude. Back in the day, he was that dude. Fast forward to today, he's still that dude. Yup, that dude. You can see as clear as day that he here to stay. Either get with the program or move out the way. Ooh. B-Eazy Dat Dude, he back with another one. You ain't know. Let's just be easy. Ay, ay. Let's just be easy. That dude. Be easy. Is that dude? You hear me? You feel me? Ooh. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah. B-Eazy. B-Eazy, he is that dude. It's A-A-A-A-O. B-Eazy is that dude. You already know, for sure. You already know. It's easy to see why he is that dude. He's been a favorite, even if you hating it. Give him his flowers, pay him respect. He's a certified legend and one of the best. B-Eazy, remember the name. Woo.
B-Eazy Dat Dude.
B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude. That dude, B-Eazy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude.
You ain't know.
If you feel the vibe, like, share, and subscribe. We growing on this journey.
come and take a ride. If you wanna slide with that dude, be easy. We going all the way to the top, believe me. All the way to the top, believe me. B-Eazy Dat Dude. B-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the ballroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the ballroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah, they know the name. B-Eazy Dat Dude.
You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.